Cream City crossover, back at it one more time with live draft coverage, the NBA draft 2026. Should be a fun night for the Milwaukee Bucks. Picks 10 and 13 coming up. No Giannis, no longer. Remember this basketball team. If you missed us last night, we're going to talk, obviously, about the trade again tonight, but come on in the room. Hang out with us, the Cream City crossover. We will talk NBA draft. Let's kick it. Let's have a good time. Screw sir.
Chris King.
Justin.
Yeah. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Let's talk this through. We'll be here all night long, having some fun, talking Bucks, talking draft, all that good stuff. As the Milwaukee Bucks, let me just get everything pulled up here as you guys get in, and again, we'll talk. We'll be here all night. We'll have some fun. Derek Clay said, "Let's go, fellas. Let's go do this thing." And again, right now, the Washington Wizards are on the clock. They got about a minute and a half. The pick is in, as I see. I might be a little behind everybody in my YouTube TV here, but the pick is in for Washington. We'll see what happens. But I do want to start, and everybody's obviously we're going to think it's going to be AJ DeBansa going to Washington. But I do want to start, obviously, again. If you didn't hear us last night, where we had our initial thoughts on the trade, myself, Chris King, we got Justin here with us tonight. We'll start with Justin, of course, just to recap, unless you were hiding under a rock. The trade last night was Giannis and Bobby Portis to Miami for Hero, Jaquez, Ware, Kasparis, I still don't got his last name, the number 13 pick tonight, a 2030 swap, a 2031 and 33 first, and a 2033 second. That will commensurate on July the 6th. But again, I do want to start, and I will interrupt you once the pick is made official, Justin, just to let everybody know who the pick is. But I do want to start, Justin, with your thoughts, because we gave our thoughts last night on the trade. You can go wherever you want to go about this. As again, we've had now a good almost 24 hours to process kind of what happened. And the fact that Giannis is no longer a member of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, man. So last night, my phone was buzzing like crazy. Unc was in the bed, curled up, sleep after a miraculous Brewers game. And then I wake up about 2:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for those who follow that. You know what us old dudes got to do, man? We got to pee in the middle of the night. I look at my TV screen. It say Giannis on the Heat. I said, "Oh hell, I must still be sleeping. They must have had some. I must have had some Trey Cutwater or something. God, this can't be real." And I woke up this morning. It's going crazy everywhere, man. So how do I feel, man? Because I think y'all heard my thoughts the other day when I went crazy. I woke up pretty disappointed and disgusted in Antetokounmpo and who he is. So a couple things, right? First of all, we've had this brother in Milwaukee, and everything he knows is Milwaukee. You see this dude. This dude used to sell sunglasses in Athens, Greece, probably bootleg sunglasses, and now he walking around with Cartiers and not Air Force Ones like the rest of y'all call them, but Dookies, because he is the Milwaukee culture. He bought into everything to us. So I hear a lot of people talking about what he did for Milwaukee. No qualms. He did a lot for Milwaukee, but Milwaukee did a lot for this brother. And this brother, the times got tough due to a lot of stuff with him. I just want to win. I just want to compete for a championship. I want to do this. I want to do that. You try to dictate and play front office, play GM, and you go ahead and pick in.
From BYU heading up to the podium right now to shake Commissioner Silver's hand. But keep going, Justin.
We brought in Damian Lillard. We brought in Drew Holiday. We kept Chris Middleton longer than what we should have. We kept Brook Lopez. We did everything to appease this man. Gave this man everything he could possibly have, and then tried to mortgage the future even further to bring in a Miles Turner. And some of these moves didn't work But you cannot say that the Milwaukee Bucks organization did not do everything to make sure this guy was a winner. Oh, by the way, your brother Giannis Antetokounmpo was on the roster, made $12 million over the course of being in Milwaukee for absolutely nothing, to be a cheerleader. He was a Bucks energy dancer. Not to mention the money we gave him. It's millions of dollars. The stuff we got back when you look the next year and the year after, we're in limbo with picks still. And all this stuff was done for him. I felt like the times got tough and he took his ball and he got soft and he ran to Miami. And I don't care. And he lied to us. He lied. This man lied. I don't know anything. My agents, all this stuff. I want to be in Milwaukee 1,000,000%. We saw all the quotes. Champions don't chase. All the stuff you said. Loyalty is in my DNA. Where? Trey, you mentioned it before we got on here. Christian Yelich said something about retiring in Milwaukee. Kudos to him. Tyler Hero tweeted out 414.
Yep.
Kudos to him. We want people in Milwaukee that want to be here. You want to take your family down there to South Beach. You think it's sweeter? I hope that media gives you hell. I'm not rooting for you. I'm not rooting for the Miami Heat. I hope you lose. I hope you spend more of your time in tough crowd than Heat gear, just like you did for us at the end of your duration. I don't care. I hope that it's a miserable time for you and you miss how great these people in Milwaukee taught you. And I don't want to hear this BS about him building it and stuff like that. He did a lot for Milwaukee, but we're not going to go so far off the deep end. Last thing I want to say about it, you see a lot of comparisons with Aaron Rodgers, with Brett Favre and him, because you're talking about three iconic figures of the state that ended up leaving and going and playing for other teams and came back home, and they were welcomed back home with open arms. The difference between Rodgers and the difference between Favre said his stuff out in the media in front of everybody and answered to it. Aaron Rodgers did the same thing on McAfee and all the goofy shows he went on, and people got upset at him. One thing about Giannis, he a coward. He said it behind the back. He didn't come out in the media and say it. He lived vicariously through his agents. Oh, I don't know. That's my agent. Tell us you don't want to be here anymore and you've outgrown your time. I would respect that. Can't take anything away from him as a basketball player. He was great. All his accomplishments on the floor were absolutely amazing. But as far as a man, he ain't it. And I can never root for the dude again unless he wears a Bucks uniform, and that's going to be hard for me, man. So I hope the Heat go 0-82. I hope they don't make the playoffs. I hope Eric Spoelstra continues to choke. I hope that Bam Adebayo scores 83 in meaningless basketball games, and the most thing he's known for is his beautiful girlfriend. I hope that – who else they got on that team? Norman Powell. I hope he loses his hair just because he's with Giannis. I hope that everything goes bad in Miami, man. I heard them women nice down there, too. Hope it works out for you, homie.
First things first, though, on Norm Powell, it sounds like they're not going to be able to keep Norm Powell unless he takes, they said, some type of incredible discount, which he's not expected to do. So it does sound like the first domino in Miami has fallen as far as Norm Powell goes, and he's not going to be back. Pick is in for Utah, but Chris King, and we see in the chat, obviously it'll be a chat heavy show tonight as well. So whatever your thoughts are, it's me, Mickey. I'll try to get to a lot of them. He says Justin spitting facts. Daniel Jones, I'm gonna get F Gary Gray. He says Moesha better be gone. Giannis and his bum ass brothers can kick rocks. G 6 Rings says thank you, Bucks. You made the right pick. Jake, come on, Jake. Jake said Mariah better learn how to fight. Those Miami women are coming. All right, now. That's a good one. Chris King, you've had now 24 hours to process this trade. Before we, and again, we're pick 2. Bucks don't pick till 10 unless there is a trade into the top 10. So we'll get to thoughts about the draft and things like that in a second here. But you've had 24 hours, give or take, to process, think about what has transpired, what's gone down. Again, to your point, before you go, Chris, to your point, Justin, it is interesting that I think that Tyler Hero did tweet out 414 because it's a 1-to-1 trade right now. We know that this trade could expand. We know from reporting that there's a thought process that the Bucks may or may not want Tyler Hero at the end of the day. They may make the decision and determination. You know what? We'd rather send again there, and there's been reported interest of Detroit in Tyler Hero, who again, that's a team that could really use a guy like Tyler Hero. So there's that thought process that you could see. But my point there is it is interesting that he tweets out 414 because that would give you the indication. And for some reason, he's of the belief that because I don't think you tweet that out unless you think you're going to end up here, unless you think this is going to be your final destination. And that's what he tweets out. 2 pick is in from Utah, Darren Peterson from Kansas. So that's the number 2 pick there. I don't think we had no surprises that Darren Peterson goes. Again, he's a big time playmaker, shooting ability. But Chris King, your thoughts? Again, just you had 24 hours kind of process before we get into talking about this draft and what the Bucks can do to make themselves competitive.
Yeah, the more I think about it and the more I look at it, I mean, I've dropped a couple of videos now, and if you hadn't seen the log jam of forwards and centers that are in all of the mock drafts we're seeing. I mean, the Bucks have 10 and 13 today, and you look at what they're being mocked at. It's Nate Ament at 10, and then it's Steinbach at 13, who are both power forwards, both young guys. Both were in their freshman season in college, so 2 guys that would be, high ceiling potential guys. But that's what the Bucks have always made their name off of in the past 5 years is the potential guys. But there really is truly like a logjam of forwards and centers right at that 10 through 14, 10 through 15 area. If the Bucks, I'll tell you this, if the Bucks can get one of the guards in the top 10 to fall to them at 10, they need to pick them. I truly believe they need to spend the 10th pick on a guard. If one of the guards between Keaton Vogler, Kingston Flemings, Darius Acuff, or Brayden Burries falls to 10, they need to spend that pick. But a lot of the mock drafts we're not seeing that. We're not seeing that happen. We're seeing Kingston Flemings be taken at 8 by the Hawks. We're seeing Wagler going 5th. We're seeing Acuff going 6th to the Kings, right? So to me, I think, if they're able to find themselves in a position where one of those top 10 guards falls, and there are holes in those guys' games. Like Acuff, his biggest issue is defense. Acuff, Vogler's biggest issue is his athleticism. Kingston Flemings didn't show up at the big game, right, last year, but he's still young and got a lot of potential. His shot is weird, right? So, like, there are some holes that could make one of those guys fall down to the 10th pick. It's just, does that happen? I don't know. And if it doesn't happen, then you're stuck at 10 or 13. If you're going to pick 2 forwards, fine. We'll see what happens with that. But if you're going to pick a guard, if all the guards in the top 10 got used up, if you're going to pick a guard at 10 or 13, it's going to be going out on a limb a little more than you would like. Like, you're going to be taking Phylon a little earlier than he was expected. You're going to be taking Ibuka Okori from Stanford, who is a lightning in a bottle scorer, way too early. So to me, all in all, like, I'm looking forward to see what the Bucks do. I do think they need a guard at one of these picks. I don't think they should just go out there and grab 2 forwards and run it, because I do believe that the guard depth is a little slim. We talk all the time about those 2 guys, KPJ and Ryan Rollins, and then adding Hero into the mold. That certainly works. But I mean, you still got to
add Kasparis as well, because he's a guard too. So again, you say it's. I mean, that's interesting. You point out that it's slim, but it start if you go with, like you mentioned, a Flemings if he drops to 10, right? Like that, like all of a sudden that room gets crowded. Like, to me, that room starts to get very crowded. We try to find minutes for guys in the guard rotation. Pick is in for Memphis, by the way. We'll have that pick in a second. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, and I'm just thinking ahead of time, right? Like, you still have guys, like, we haven't even thought about Gary Trent Jr. and what he's doing. We haven't even thought about what Taurean Prince is doing. And, like, those guys are all guys that I think we would be fine at this point moving on from. But we don't know the future of those guys. We don't know what KPJ is going to do. We don't know if he's going to even sign back with the Bucks, even though we expect that to happen because he was hurt all last season. And his value may not be all the way there. But to me, I think that you're stuck with a lot of guards that have kind of already potentially reached their ceiling of potential. in hero. He's already been all-star caliber. I don't know that he gets better from that. If he stays the same, great. If we get an all-star caliber player, great. If KPJ can find a way to just be a 15 points a game guy and a 6 assist guy, great. But I don't know that we have a guard that can like soar through the roof in terms of potential, and I think there are some of those guards in this draft.
Let me and again, if you want to ask Chris King any questions, of course he's our draft expert, our draft guru tonight, breaking down everything. Daniel Joseph says, I hate Heat fans. They're so happy like they won already. We had them all this time and only won one. Their team is bum out of booty. And dad joke, the sneak freak, aka ACL tear. That's a tough one.
Whoa. That's too far. Hey, Trey.
Go
Trey,
ahead.
Can I say one more thing I forgot, man? You know, I'll be getting hyped up. I'll be forgetting things. And I want to tell y'all a draft story because I know neither one of y'all listen to Gary Wolfo from his podcast because I think it's pretty interesting. Sometime tonight, just remind me that. I know it's Gary, so everybody don't give me side eyes, but just follow me for a second on the Gary stuff, right? So the only other thing that I failed to mention on Giannis, and this is the last time I want to talk about dude. Like forever, he's gonna be the dude that's not mentioned. He's gonna be like an ex-wife. We don't bring his name up anymore. I don't, at least. Y'all can do you. I'm just be like that hoe over there. That's what I'm gonna call him. But anyways, shout out to Pipe Bomb.
For what it's worth, Cameron Boozer goes third to the Memphis Grizzlies out of Duke. Keep going. No surprise. No surprises as of yet.
Nothing.
Okay, there we go.
So we gave Shams a lot of crap, right? And I don't know if y'all talked about this last night because, man, never mind. I'll tell you that off there. I think Shams was eventually we knew that he was going to get to the time where he was right. Because it was going to keep saying it until it happened, unless Giannis retired a buck forever, right? However, one thing where I have a big issue with Giannis in his camp is how are you all going to be the ones to go and leak the crap to the man and then try to sun this dude like he's absolutely crazy and he's absolutely wrong? Like, he was right about the stuff for the last few years. And if you read a lot of that stuff on there, like, that's even furthermore why I feel like Giannis is a coward, because he leaked the stuff, then he made dude look like a clown, and then now he feels like he's vindicated when dude was right in the end, man. And I really feel like someone on the Bucks, and I know a lot of people hate Jimmy Haslam, and that's fine. I respect the dude, dog. Straight up, I do, because at least he made him make a decision. But Jimmy Haslam, because he'd be the one to do it, because he don't give any Fs about anything. He needs to be the one to come out and say, hey, man, we offered this dude the max. He elected not to sign it, and we had to move him. Period. Don't let it fall back on the Bucks.
Listen, I'm with you there too. I'm 100% with you. I think Jimmy Haslam gets so. I just don't understand why he's like he's some type of a scapegoat for whatever reason. And I mean, again, I get it. I get people. It's low hanging fruit is what I would say when I think about Jimmy Haslam. Like again, to me, if you want to argue him about the Doc Rivers thing, that's one thing. But a lot of this stuff was already set in motion. A lot of this stuff was already set in motion before he got here. And again, I think the ownership group, I don't know. I just realize there's a lot of smoke in who's calling. Like if you were to believe the national media, they act like Jimmy Haslam's calling all the shots. I just again, I know he has a lot of influence in the organization. Obviously, I don't know that it's like he's running the show yet. When Eaton's has a lot of again, Eaton's still there, Dinan's still there, their whole ownership group and how it works. All right, Chris King. Again, there was one question on the board from the childish one. He said, anyone you absolutely don't want or would be mad if the Bucks drafted them. We'll ask that. So 2-part question. So I do want to get I want Chris King, I want you to address that question. But the second question I have for you, Chris, is like I said, right now it's a chalk draft. AJ, Darren, Cam, 1, 2, 3. We all expected that. When does this draft get fun? What is going? Could it be Chicago? Like, when are you going to say, okay, now we're drafted? Because we knew this was going to be the order. When are you looking at? Okay, now we're drafted. Now teams are going to have to play with their board because something maybe fell out of place that they may not have thought was going to fall out of place? Where does that look? And then to answer the question from the childish one as well, anybody you don't want to draft or you'd be upset if the Bucks drafted?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's right after. I mean, presumably the number 4 pick is going to be Caleb Wilson, and once that's over, I think this draft gets real fun because I think there's a lot of teams that need franchise players and guys that can come in and run the show. Like I think you got the Kings down there, you got the Hawks down there, you got teams that are really going to need somebody that can come in and be a complementary piece. And they could go in multitude of ways. I mean, I've seen guys mocked in the top 10 that are now mocked, down there at 15. I've seen Adai Mara from Michigan, the big center, mocked to the Hawks before we even get to the Bucks' first pick. And I've also seen Kingston Fleming's mocked to the Hawks at 8. So, I think right after Caleb Wilson goes, I think it's a free-for-all now. And then any guy that I absolutely don't want is just, to me, I think I look at the guys that high risk, high reward at this point. I think there are players in this draft where I think you just kind of understand what you're getting, right? And I think Yaxel Lindeborg is one of those guys. I think the Bucks would be well within their right to spend a pick on Yaxel Lindeborg. Now, I hear all the rumors about the Nate Ament stuff with him being a Tennessee guy and Haslam being a Tennessee guy. But to me, I can't look – for the life of me, I can't look at what he failed to do in the NCAA tournament versus a team that has 3 guys mocked under him in Michigan with Adai Mara, Morez Johnson, and Yaxel Lindeborg. And all of those guys performed better than him. And for him to – Nate Ament to be still a little raw and still going to need some time to develop. I think that ship has sailed for the Bucks. I don't think we need to be spending any more picks. The first time we have a lottery pick in some time now on some project that could potentially be played out of the NBA, because when we talk about what Horst has not done in the draft, it's not guys that are just okay NBA players. No, these are guys that he's picking, that he's selecting, that eventually play themselves out of the league. So that's what we can't have. And so to answer that question, I'm not the biggest fan of Ament from Tennessee. And to be quite honest, I would be kind of baffled if, you've got a ton of more, I would say, NBA level ready guys on the board for you to win right away, especially a team that could potentially have Tyler Hero. I'm not saying this is a world beating team, but I am saying that this basketball team can still win. This basketball team can do better than it did last year if they make the right picks and the players that bring in players that can win right away and produce on both sides of the floor. So to me, going for a project would be dumb if we're going to keep Tyler Hero, if we're going to keep Miles Turner, if we're going to try to compete with Jaime Jaquez and try to compete with Khalil Ware. If this is a basketball team that wants to win games, then I don't see the point of trying to go for another project. But that would just be me. So, and I know a lot of people are fans of Ament, but I still don't. I look at his game when I did the breakdown video. He's very skilled with the ball in his hands. Don't get me wrong, but he's thin. He's not a guy that's gonna even be able to back down players from Mercer. I had highlights in that video. He was trying to post up some white little guard from Mercer, and he forces him into a turnaround jumper. That's not what the Bucks need. The Bucks do not need that at this point. We don't need to wait on somebody to develop their strength and develop their game while they're in the league. We don't need to waste that pick on something like that. I think Hannes Steinbach is a great example. The guy's freaking 250, 6'11". I think, Lindeborg is 250 and 6'9" and can play on both sides of the court. And so, I think there are better options out there that can help us win right away if that's the direction we're going in. I wouldn't be mad if we say, sorry, Justin, but if we say, all right, we're going to go listen to offers on Tyler Hero. We're going to ship out Kyle Kuzma, and we're going to ship out, which Kyle Kuzma might be gone anyway, but we're gonna ship out Miles Turner. Then I would maybe, if we're going in the way of a rebuild, go get somebody that will take a little bit of time to develop. But it can't be certainly can't be both picks either tonight. Somebody has to be ready to play.
Caleb Wilson. Let's go 1 second, Justin. Caleb Wilson does go 4 to the
Chicago Bulls.
To the Chicago Bulls. Justin, go ahead.
No, I just had
right now.
I just had a follow up for Chris, and I hear you, and I don't think you're wrong about anything you said. So I guess my question is kind of what you alluded to at the end. Are you cool with one for sure solid guy like your boy Yaxel or the other big dude from Michigan, and a project with that, or you just you don't just want 2 projects, or you want 2 solid dudes and let's go?
Yeah, to me, I would want two solid players, but what's going to be interesting to me is that like the Bucks have to be. I mean, if you're seriously thinking about getting a guard, I think at this point you're starting to think we may need to try to get up. We may need to try to trade up. And so I think that's a very real possibility. And if you can go and do that and get somebody franchise changing as a guard, I wouldn't be mad at that either, because you're in this spot now where you're going to create a lot of depth at the power forward position. Just based off of what the mock drafts are saying. Now, could they surprise us and take LeBaron Philon at 13 and then they've got their guard? Like, that could happen. Could they pick Christian Anderson from a Texas Tech? That's a really damn good player, 6'4", good basketball player. Or will a guard fall to them? I don't know. So to me, I think the guards are where you're going to see a little less projection. I think the big men are the guys that have like the big ceiling potential. Like you look at Kareem Lopez from Mexico that, you know, they're mocking around the Bucks' range. Not necessarily to the Bucks, but he played in New Zealand last year. Like those are the ones that are, I think, the project picks. And to me, I'm just done with the projects. To me, I need the production. I need the guys that went and played basketball, played winning basketball, and let's go, let's roll, because it's worked in the past couple of years for other teams, not us.
Well, here's the thing. I'm with you. I don't think you can't take a project at this point. Like, and it's funny because that would seem like that would be the ideal, you know, when you're rebuilding is the time to do that. But at this point, John, you got to prove that you can draft. You got to get somebody to come in and play some basketball, because I'll tell you what, there is, again, with the new NBA model and the new lottery model, there's no point in Luke. And here's the thing. Yep. It didn't even matter if you lose. You don't even own your own picks. So there's no tanking isn't a thing anymore. And even if it was, it wouldn't matter because you don't own those picks anyway. Portland has your pick next year. So you might as well be as good as you can be and play as hard as you can play. And by the way, and again, we're going to get to the picks in for the Clippers. But by the way, and I don't know how people in chat feel. I don't know how you guys feel. How many games the Bucks win this year? Anybody know?
What was it, 30-something?
What was the final record? Somebody tell me what the Bucks' final record was. Let me find it.
Why are you looking for it? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm gonna tell. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. The Bucks' final record this year, they were 32-50. The Bucks are gonna be a better team this year than they were last year. No question. There's no question in my mind. The Milwaukee Bucks. Maybe that's not. The Bucks are gonna be a better team than they were last year. They're gonna be a better team this year. No question about it.
Before this pick is announced real quick, and it's coming up quick, so I'll try to go quick. Any chance you gentlemen want to trade Miles Turner and something else to the Clippers to go get your boy a Koof? Am I saying it right, Chris King? Is that how I say it? A Koof? A Cuff? Both of them. Him too.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. I don't think the Clippers do that. I don't think that they're gonna.
They have picked Keaton Wagler from Illinois. So you said this is where the draft would get fun. Clippers go with Wagler out of Illinois. Your thoughts, Chris King?
Yeah, I think when it comes to the Clippers, I mean, they certainly need somebody to go in there and be a good wing, a good ball dominant wing. You look at who's their guard, Darius Garland. Like that's their lead guard.
Darius Garland, yeah.
So he's a good player. I think his athleticism was the biggest question mark there. But he can certainly score at all three levels. Definitely can just score, and being 6'6", right? I would say his game is only going to blossom. And I think it's just about the fit there, right? Like I think they weren't going to pick Acuff because his defensive issues are there, and Garland don't play any defense. So pairing those two, it wouldn't have made sense. So I mean, I could kind of see this coming a little bit, but I think from now on, it'll get a little wobbly. We'll see, how much our team's going to value Acuff's scoring over Kingston Fleming, who can do it on both sides of the ball, right? And so we'll see what happens there.
Let me shift gears both for a second, both of you, because I don't think we really talked about it last night either, Chris. And so this is for everybody here. We didn't really get it. A lot has been made about Giannis moving. I don't think we talked a ton about Bobby Portis being moved as well. What are your thoughts with Bobby as part of that trade package? I'm talking about moving for Miami. Do you think? I mean, again, Miami's got to work their roster out too. Is that a good move for them? And are you okay with Bobby? Again, we talked a lot in this program about. I know I did. Bobby Portis being gone. Justin was more on the Bobby Portis stay forever. And finally, the Milwaukee Bucks moved Bobby Portis as well. Just any thoughts just around Bobby being gone? And again, you could make, again, if Giannis was the one who built Fiserv for, they called him the mayor. They called him like Bobby Portis could. He was the second most. I mean, he was probably, you say argue Chris Middleton. I'm talking from a popularity standpoint. You could argue Bobby Portis second was after Giannis was the most popular player on the Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think we certainly thank Bobby for his services at times, because there were nights where he would become a microwave and he'd light it up. But the inconsistencies, I think you're much better off getting a player that has at least consistency. And maybe their ceiling isn't going to be as high as Bobby Portis's was, right? I think of games where he would step up 30 points against the Brooklyn Nets on a random Tuesday night. But then I'd also think of the games where he's not rebounding the basketball, where he's black hole Bobby. And I think where, it may benefit us to take a forward today is that you may find somebody that fits the modern NBA a lot better than Bobby Portis did at the end of his tenure in Milwaukee. I mean, you think of he's pretty much a stretch four that rebounds a little bit, doesn't play any defense, right? If we can go in and change this thing up a little bit, get a little high energy guy, somebody who's active on both sides of the ball, somebody who can score and pass the ball out of the post and do things. It's going to be about fit for us, and we need a better fit than what that was at the end of his tenure in Milwaukee. But certainly thankful that Bobby Portis was able to spend the best years of his career in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I say this.
Yeah.
Say we all bros. No more. No more. Oh, Bobby,
no mas.
Man.
No mas.
No mas. They all hoes. Bobby, man. Bobby. Yeah, I mean, Chris hit the nail on the head, right? Like, Bobby did have moments that were lackluster, and I mean, I was the biggest defender of Bobby. Bobby's not a guy that's going to go to a different team where I'm going to feel different about him, because Bobby was 100 who he was the entire time he was here. He didn't waver. He didn't do anything. He spoke for Milwaukee. I think he repped the city well. And like Chris said, the best years of his career were in a Bucks uniform. I don't think we get to a championship without Bobby, from his leadership, from some of his stuff. And I'm not saying he was Chris Middleton, I almost called him Chris King, Drew, nothing like that. But there's just certain glue guys you need on a team. I hope that he could go somewhere else outside of Miami after this year and finish out his career with another championship, because I do want to see the best for Bobby Portis, because I don't feel like Bobby Portis did anything wrong. And I think for as long as he wants to be our mayor, he has my vote. I can't tell him good luck in Miami, though, because I want them to suck. So good luck on your next stop.
I do want to ask you guys this. The pick is in from Brooklyn, so that should be coming up shortly here. There's some talk of Sam Amick reporting that the Warriors, who have the 11th pick, and the Hawks, who have the 8th pick, have been discussing whether to use their picks to trade for Trey Murphy. Would you, now again, this will be interesting. Would you do something like that? You have 10 and 13. Would you take 10 and 13 and say, you know what, screw again, this would be a win now. We want to win. I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks will do this. Mm-hmm. But could you see a scenario where the Bucks like, you know what, let's go all in, use 10 and 13 and go get Trey Murphy. Now, again, I don't think that if they did that, I think they would just move up into maybe Atlanta's spot and go 8th or something like that. I just couldn't see them going after Trey Murphy, but could you see them again? Those are the reports that are out there. What are you thinking?
That dude was hardly taken on the video, dog. Sorry. For Brooklyn.
This is well, hold on. Adam Silver's at the podium announcing.
It's your boy from Louisville.
Michael Brown Jr. There's another guard off the board going to Brooklyn.
Yeah, so that one's interesting too, because now, I mean, if Nate Ament is picked before 10, the Bucks will get one of those three guards, in my opinion. And those three guards are Darius Acuff. It is who's the other one? I know Kingston Fleming's one of them, and Brayden Burries. So that'll be interesting. If Nate Ament goes within the next 4 picks before the Bucks are probably going to land a guard at 10. But if there's 3 more guards in a row after this, Nate Ament is going to fall to the Bucks.
Do you think they would take him at 10? Do you think they're going to take him at 10? I know that's been reported. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, I would. You guys know my opinion on it. I don't want to take him, but I mean, I think at that point, I think they're going to do it because it's. I mean,
who we got left? 7, 8, 9. What's 7, 8, 9?
7, 8, 9. So Sacramento's on the board at 7. Atlanta is picking. That pick is from New Orleans. Is on the board at 8. You got Dallas at 9.
So Cuff is gone. He's gone to Sacramento. They both have strong mutual interest in each other, and I think that unfortunately he's out of there. And I hate to see it, man, because we're gonna call him a Koof because he's not a Buck. So a Koof is out of here.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. Like, it's going to depend on what the Hawks do as well. We'll see what the Hawks do because they could use Kingston Flemings, but they could also probably use a better big man.
That's what I want. I want Flemings.
I do too.
Me too.
I do too.
I want to go back. Well, let me. So I guess you got everybody saying no. There's no way the Bucks take 10 and 13 and go flip for either.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
go get Trey Murphy. Okay.
I don't want Trey. Trey Murphy is Kyle Kuzma for Trey Murphy and let's hoop, dog. Like, I can't give you more than that. Like, I know he's good. He has a lot of intangibles. He's gonna blossom into this great NBA player. I don't see enough to give you my 2 picks. I'm sorry. We've been waiting for these 2 picks forever.
Yeah, no, we absolutely have been. And again, this is the first. I mean, I guess real quick, how excited are you? Again, I get it, you hate. Nobody wants to pick early. That means you've been losing. But is it a different feeling that you get that you're finally gonna get an early pick and you get 2 picks on top of it to increase your team? Is this? And again, the answer is no, because obviously you want Giannis. But is there some sense of I don't want to say hope, but because there's finality in the situation, you're turning the page, you rip the Band-Aid off. And I do think, again, because I think they're going to have more than 32 wins this year, is this team going to be more fun to watch than last year's Bucks?
Oh my God!
I would think there's no question about that, right?
Absolutely. That team last year was terrible to watch. It was horrible. It was not fun. And I think at least I'm excited that we were able to flip Giannis into a team that changes the outlook of what that team was last year. Like, there are now new pieces. There are depth. There are players that can come in and immediately make an impact. Whereas last year we're grasping for straws. We're bringing in Cam Thomas and Ousmane Dieng, and we're thinking they're the best players ever because they had one good game. And so, yeah, I'm certainly happy that there's gonna be a little more consistency surrounding this basketball team this year. It's gonna be fun, and then especially, yes, I'm super excited they've got 2 picks. Now I need to be excited after they make the picks.
The pick is in Sacramento. I have not seen Adam Silver announce it, but do you guys? I did see a spoiler. You guys want the spoiler for who goes at 7?
Go and give us a cuff.
Yeah, it's Acuff. Who's Darius Acuff's going to go at 7 to Sacramento. So that's another guard that's not off the board that so you're getting closer there. So the Bucks, they're going to get one of the guards, right?
It looks that way. It almost has to be that way. Well, we got 8, 9 in front of us.
Not necessarily.
8 and 9.
Oh, unless they go guard back to back. Yeah,
they go guard back to back. So they pick Flemings and Burries, then we'll probably end up with Phylon if we do get a guard.
That's what I'm saying. You go Phylon.
But not at 10. You might wait until 13.
Would you go Yaxel at 10?
No.
I heard he's falling down too.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I was looking at. I mean, they really like Steinbach apparently, who had games with 20-plus rebounds. I mean, he played well against Wisconsin over the course of the year last year. I mean, he was one of those players in the Big Ten where it's like that conference has the best big men in the league, and he was the one that stood out the most outside of Yaxel. So, like,
I like Yaxel a lot, man. If we came away with, and I get the age issue, he's older and that, so maybe there's not as much room for development. But if we could come away with Flemings and Yaxel, I'd say it's a great night. Again, and granted to all you guys in the chat, I'm not listening. I listen to Chris King, listen to Justin before you listen to me. I'm going off the limited stuff that I've seen. Those are the two picks. I'm a happy camper. I will tell you this, and you guys that are hating, my man, from Tennessee, Nate Ament, you guys that are hating on. I get it. I'm following the crowd to say I would be joining the bandwagon and say, yeah, I don't like him because I don't know.
I'm different than you and Chris. I wanted Yaxel if we had Giannis and that veteran team intact. I know Chris gonna hate me, but I don't want the big project, right? I don't want to build it from the ground up project, but I want someone that has a little bit more Hey, I want a poor man's Giannis, right? Like, that's what I want. Something that you can look at, that you can see that has potential. I don't need like a Thon Maker. I don't need a Yao. Yeah. What was that boy named? Jillian, whatever the hell his name was. Who cares what his name was? They told us that dude was going to be the Asian Iverson when he came over here. That boy was hot dog, dookie, trash. Joe Alexander, horrible. I don't want any more of that. And so to me, Yaxel is a lot like Dante DiVincenzo, where he's the right pick at the right time, and he's a solid plug-in for the gap. But I need Flemings. I'm cool with Flemings. I'm with y'all. I want Flemings. And Chris, I told you that when before the tournament even started last year. I want that dude Kinston Flem. But yikes. After that, man, I wanted your boy, man, from Arkansas, man. But we gonna see, right? Y'all want me to tell the story real quick before we go to the joint? You want me to tell it?
Go ahead. What's the story?
All right, man. So Gary Wolfel had Mike Dunleavy Sr. on his podcast. So this credible source now is Mike Dunleavy Sr. For those of you who don't know, Mike Dunleavy Sr. was a coach of the Milwaukee Bucks back when I played grade school basketball, and we gave his son buckets. Shout out to Tanner Dunleavy if you're watching. Anyways, so the Bucks had the opportunity to get Kobe Bean Bryant. And the opportunity came in play where they were going to get Kobe Bryant and they were going to get 3 first-round picks in the next draft. This is all from Gary Wolfel's podcast, straight from Mike Dunleavy Sr.'s mouth. Now, what happened with the situation was Kobe's agent was best friends with Jerry West, and this is all from Gary Wolfel again. They would not allow Kobe to work out for the Milwaukee Bucks. Herb Cole was like, if he's not going to work out for us, we're not going to draft him. So long story short, we could have had Kobe Bryant and 3 picks in the 97 draft and did not do it and did not get it to come to fruition. So how different times could have been with Kobe Bean Bryant as a Milwaukee Buck?
Certainly would have been different. And you said, who told that story?
Gary Wolfel and Mike Dunleavy Sr.
Mike Dunleavy was there telling though, right? Okay.
Yes,
I believe it if it came from Mike Dunleavy. I ain't believe if it came from Gary ass Wolfel.
Chris, did you hear me preface the story for the beginning? It was like, yo, I know I'm getting the side eyes.
Iron Man Clan said, based upon, now going back to your description of what you were looking for, Justin, he said you basically named Nate Ament.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's what you were advocating for. How and again, I would say that again, I would be joining in the crowd because again, to your point, Chris, I saw that a lot on Twitter. People on Twitter hate Nate Ament. People, everybody else a terrible worst player. Everybody hates it, right? That's what everybody's hating.
Jake. You see Jake?
Yep. Flemings. Yep. Hawks are taking Kingston Flemings. Okay, so he's off the board. So okay, is everybody scared? How mad are you going to be if it's Nate Ament, Chris? Well, let me say this: is this because again, I'm going to tell you from my perspective, I have not seen enough to where I say he's ass is the worst pick in the world. Yeah. So I will reserve judgment. But from your perspective, are you going to say this is an AJ Johnson miss? We screwed up. This is DJ Wilson. This is Marjon. And are you gonna pound the table and say John Horst effed up again if it's Nate Ament?
I won't do that because I do think that there's some value in there. And when you watch the tape, when you cut the tape on, he's a good scorer. He's a skillful scorer. He can score in a multitude of ways. The 3-point percentage wasn't good. The scoring inside was not good, and those things need to change. Now, I do believe he can be a good defender in the league. I think he's got the tools. I think he's got the wingspan. I think he's got the athleticism to do that. What I'm worried about with Nate Ament is I don't know necessarily now, especially with the Bucks going and getting Khalil Ware, who's not that great of a 3-point shooter, but he's going to be a great defender for the Bucks and he's going to be a good center eventually. I just don't know that the fit is there. Like I would much rather when we've got 2 7-footers in Miles Turner and Khalil Ware, I would much rather go get a guy like Yaxel who's a 6'8", who can shoot the ball, who can cut, who can go score inside, who can dunk on people, who can he can score in the low post, but he can also step back and sit in a corner and catch and shoot. Like I would much rather do that. That fits
well, let me say this. When you say fit right now, again, the reports are the Bucks are potentially looking at getting rid of Miles Turner. If Miles Turner's not on the roster, does it make more sense then?
I could see it. Yeah, it could. Because I'm
just asking.
No, because I mean, when you say that, I understand that because I mean, you look at the mold that we just saw beat Wemby, and you look at what the Thunder, what their blueprint is. It's a couple of big defense, like 2 twin towers out there, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, I would have to, because you think about it and you think, okay, well, Cat and Mitchell Robinson are different in the sense that Cat is going to go step out and shoot the 3-ball. Well, you're going to need one of those guys to eventually develop a consistent 3-ball if you do decide to move on from Miles Turner. Now, where you can just fix that is going and taking Yaxel, who is a better 3-level scorer, who's a better defender at 1 through 5, who can actually switch out on guards, who can move his feet. That's just why I think, even though I get the age, guys, he didn't start playing organized basketball until he was like 15. He played like 11 high school basketball games his whole career, had to go to Arizona Western. Like, let's be honest here. His age is what it is, but is he that developed as a player? When he started at Alabama Birmingham, he was a post player. He goes 1 year at Michigan.
Share his age.
Yeah,
what's his age?
He's 23.
Okay.
But he goes 1 year at Michigan, his game opens up and he becomes a wing, and he wins Player of the Year in the Big Ten. So like, I think there's still some untapped potential there in Yaxel, and I mean, you just cut on the highlights, you'll see a better player than Nate Ament. They went head to head.
Yeah, I would agree. There's no question he's a better player, more polished right now. I do want to read a little bit from Twitter. Dan Joseph says we're about to draft Ass Matt. He says he's gonna throw a brick at the TV. He said, weed. He said it's weed. So
35-pound brick though. 35-pound brick. You got 35 one.
I'm gonna read a little bit from Twitter, and again, we'll ask Twitter what they think. My tweet was, "How mad are y'all gonna be if it's Ament?" At Sterling Show TV said, "I'm gonna be cool with it. Just see what happens. Everybody has equal odds to flop." Drew Barringer says, "Automatic F on the draft. Full letter grade drop on the Giannis trade." Jay Phil in Texas says, "Terrible pick, but it is what it is." Clint Bucks 1984 says, "I want Ament." Kyle Davis, bunch of numbers, says, "I want Ament." And so you have a couple people, and then you have Steely Dan Sucks says, "Mad, very, very mad. All the goodwill Jimmy," someone Jimmy has some game last night, "will be flushed down the toilet." So you do have you have a couple people who say they want Ament, including Justin, who wants Ament too. It sounds like.
I didn't know I want him. I didn't know who the homie
said.
I'm not watching Tennessee. I hate those colors.
Described.
Hey, well then shit, bring them. Hey, Chris, I don't care. Hey, start a poll question too. What's the next jersey I should buy? Add them into that joint. Chris, hey, quick question. So when you're looking at the Bucks forwards right now, what we got? We got Pete Nance, we got Miles Turner, we got Jericho Sims. Who I'm missing? Anybody? Oos, them guys. When you put Yaxo and you put Ament, where would you rank them in terms of where the current Bucks forwards are or big guys are?
I think Yaxel Landeborg is better than Kyle Kuzma right now. Like I think you bring him in. I think he's more consistent and he plays better defense than Kyle Kuzma, and he's got a better, well-rounded offensive game. He's not going to do the amount of BS turnovers and stupid moments that Kyle Kuzma is going to have. So I think if you were to take Yaxel Landeborg, he would be the best forward on the team. I think Nate Ament, now if you take him, I think you're still there's gonna have to be a whole adjustment to physicality that he's gonna have to deal with to get into the NBA, and it's gonna be like get him with the strength program and put on some weight on that boy, because like I literally pulled up highlights. If you watch the video, there's a couple of videos of him being absolutely bullied in the college game in the low post, and so. It's just, to me, there's going to have to be a lot of developing. I'm not saying he can't be good. I think he can be good. I think he has the tools to be really good. But do we want to bank on this Bucks team? And now granted, we do have a new change in leadership. But are we confident that the Bucks are going to bring Nate Ament along strength-wise?
Mavericks at 9. Pick is in. They are going with Morez Johnson Jr.
Oh. So we've got the option for Brayden Burries.
So you can go Brayden Burries right here, wow. Okay, that
means we're on the clock.
That means the pick is in. We're not necessarily on the clock just yet. That was just announced from Twitter. But in 1 second, we will be on the clock. But your thoughts there, Morris Johnson being the pick from the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I think Morez Johnson was one of my lowest rated forwards out of Michigan. I think Adai Mara, I think Yaxel Landeborg are both better than him. And the reason I say that is because this is a guy who was a beneficiary off of Yaxel Landeborg and Adai Mara all season. This was a guy who Adai Mara is immediately going to get the best center on the opposite team because he's a 7-3 pick and roll guy, and he's the one that's mostly involved in the pick and roll. Yaxel Landeborg, on the other hand, scores at all three levels, and he's basically the best player on Michigan's team. So Morez Johnson, he transferred in from Illinois, didn't even shoot the three ball at all last year. He did get up to 34%, but he's efficient from scoring inside, but and a good rebounder, I must admit, and a physical presence. But he's a little undersized for a forward. I mean, he's like a Yaxel and as a 6'9" guy, but he doesn't have the ball handling skills. So this one is a little interesting to me, but I understand why Dallas would do that because they've got the star player. They don't need to go and grab somebody else.
Well, and the other reason Dallas does that, Dusty May named head coach. He goes against a Michigan guy. True. So there you go.
Yep, and maybe Dusty May knows for him to go 34%. After not shooting a single three at Illinois his freshman year, I think maybe there's some untapped potential there. It is interesting, though. I mean, you still got who they have, P.J. Washington still at the 4 there. So we'll see what happens with Dallas. But right now, guys, if I'm the Bucks, I'm taking Brayden Burries. He's 6'4". He can play multiple positions. I think we need a combo guard that can take over basketball games. That Ryan Rollins is not as – I don't know that Ryan Rollins has that in him in the future to become the lead scorer.
Makes people mad. You makes people mad.
And I don't know that KPJ has that. I think we need to find somebody. Maybe Tyler Hero has it at this point, but I think we need to find somebody that's going to defend both sides of the ball. He's a big body. I think of him as like right now. If I look at Jared McCain, I would say Burries is a bigger version of that. And so
Burries or Yaxel?
I would take Yaxel at 13, no doubts about it. I'd take Yaxel at 13. Yeah. I'd take Burries at 10.
I'd be okay with that. I'm okay with that if that's what it ends up being. Go ahead, keep going.
Well, I tell you, Chris King should work in sales because he sold me because I was anti-Yaxel when we started today, and bring that dude on, bring the Yaxel on.
I'm not mad at it if that's what it is. I like Yaxel. I would have, like I said, if we had only had 10, I would have potentially thought about him going there if those guards weren't there. But we'll see. The Bucks are officially on the clock. Morris Johnson shaking hands with the commissioner right now. Chris King, I'll ask you not who you who would you pick? Who do you think the Milwaukee Bucks are picking right now? What is this pick going to be? And then, of course, we're going to break it all down once it takes place, and I'll put it on Twitter as well. Again, the challenge says take Burries, Iron Man Clan Burries, Burries and Yaxel. Aaron Rodgers 7955 says get ready for trash Nate Ament. So we'll see. But the Bucks are on the clock, 10th here. Last time they had the 10th pick, I believe it was Thon Maker. You know how that turned out.
To me, I look at the measurements and I go, okay, this is a guy who's 6'4" 3/4. This is a guy who's 215 pounds. Like, you're not gonna have to spend the time to develop his body. You're not gonna have to do that. You know what they were gonna have to do a couple years ago? They were gonna have to develop AJ Johnson into a massive, a guy from 170 to 200 pounds. They're not gonna have to do that with Burries. Okay, you know what they're also not gonna have to do with Burries is they're not going to have to worry about putting a ton of pounds on like a Nate Ament. Like, just go grab the guy who Arizona made it to the Final Four. They lost to Michigan, right? Like, this is a guy who played a huge role on a team that went to the Final Four. This is the next best available guard. We should not overthink making this pick. Like, it should not be Nate Ament in this spot. It should be Brayden Burries. Like, it's just a guy who's a two-way player. We're adding another guard to this squad that can play defense and a guy that can play on or off the ball. It makes sense to go and grab him right now. That's what I think for the Bucks.
Yeah, that's the best available. Justin, who is it going to be at 10 here? I'm scouring Twitter to get this pick before it comes out.
I'm gonna lean on our college draft expert. I'm going what's your boy name? Burries? Him too? Burries? What that boy name is?
Would you
boy.
Would you do something? Could you take a guy like Swain in this spot, or is that's a reach? Okay.
Too early to take Swain.
I still want Zachary Cleveland, by the way.
Somebody said, Dan Katz-Burner said on Twitter, he said, Nate all the way. Hero can play point. See, I don't agree. Like, I feel like we've got options at the point guard position, but this fills our guard role, our guard room out. And I think that you get somebody I would rather not take any more projects at a forward, because that's where you end up with a Tyler Smith. That's where you end up with a DJ Wilson. That's where you end up. I would rather go and get the surefire thing and then go and get the guy who produced at a high level at the forward spot at 13 in Yaxel Landeborg. But that's just me. That's just what I think would work better for the Bucks. Like, I don't want any projects going right now. Like, it shouldn't happen.
So, one quick thing before the pick is announced. Just remember, these dudes come out here with a hat on, and they switch hats all the time. A few minutes down the line. That's why we're gonna be here all night, because we waiting for the hats to switch, right?
Yeah.
Pick is in. You guys ready? Bucks going 10. Arizona freshman Brayden Burries is the 10th pick from the Milwaukee Bucks.
There you go,
6'5", 215 average, 16 points, shot just under 40% from three. That is a big pick. And John Horst, so I'll get some thoughts from Twitter, but go ahead. Brayden Burries is the pick. Where is John Tyus at? He would have been excited that Arizona is on the board in Milwaukee. Good job, John. Attaboy Horst. Attaboy Horsty.
Yeah, I love it. And for them to, I mean, who knows if they were before this draft thinking that Burries was going to fall. I mean, I didn't even think Burries was going to fall to the Bucks at 10. So I'm happy about this, because it shows that potentially John Horst has learned. It shows that he has learned to, okay, instead of the hot commodity that's going to be the best project in the future down the line, let's go and get the proven guy. Let's go and get the guy who averaged 16 on a loaded Arizona team that made the Final Four. Let's go and get the guy who can score at all three levels and can also play some defense and fill out this guard room. That way, if one of these guys leaves, if we're doing a fire sale of the guards that are not great and are inconsistent for the Bucks, I think of Gary Trent Jr. I think of, even potentially a KPJ who has a player option. Like, if those guys aren't going to be here, let's overcompensate at the guard position. Get somebody, and then at 13, we've got some options here. I wouldn't be mad if they go Mara out of Michigan either. Like if they get the 7-3 big, hey, I wouldn't be mad at that.
My only question, I really want to build around Ware though.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to as well, but at the same time, we don't know. Is it valuable to grab two? Is it valuable to grab two? Same kind of, what is Ware 7-1 and Mara 7-3. So it just depends on. I mean, I think there's going to be a hole at power forward, whereas at center, I think we're a little more okay with just Ware and Sims, right, and potentially Miles Turner. So I think if Kyle Kuzma is dealt and we're not going to have him, like I think it's valuable to go and grab a power forward here in a Lindeborg or Steinbach. But I won't be mad at either Lindeborg or Steinbach here at 13.
I was gonna say super excited, but I'm just a little bit reserved right now because I want to make sure that the brother stays here, man. But I like the idea of the gentleman joining us, man. I think it's gonna be a good fit. I remember watching him in Arizona. I feel like he's a dog, and like that's what we need. We need dogs. We need dogs. PJ Tucker told us that at 21, and I feel like we've arrived with another dog, provided he stays, and we don't do anything crazy like send him to New Orleans for whoever, or send him to, God darn, like if we had Zion in Milwaukee, man, that would be bad.
Bad, because he'd be eating food, which would be bad about it.
Yeah, Rocky Rococo's all day, man. Rocky Rococo's, you need sponsors too. Best pizza joint ever, man. Sponsor us, Rockies. No, but hey, it's a good pick, and I think this is the first. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first lottery pick that Horse has had. So let's hope that this is good. Because you know what? One thing that we failed to mention, Giannis being gone, and now this is Horse time to prove that he's him, and it wasn't all these people around him. So you got to cook, Horse. You don't have any choice but to cook. I hope this is a pick. I hope he sticks. And man, I want Yaxel. I want Yaxel and Ware and Hero.
Let me. I want to ask Chris a question. How good of a defender is Burries? What does he look like on that end of the floor?
He's good. 6'6" wingspan. I mean, when I look at all of, it's interesting him being on the West Coast because a lot of times those games are starting super late. But when I watched him, I did believe that wingspan is apparent. Tommy Lloyd is a guy who always has a team that's going to play a great defense, and typically they're going to clog the paint, so it maybe didn't show all that much. But I do believe he's a good defender, and I believe he's an NBA defender, and that's what I think the Bucks are going to need. I think some of their guards lack that, and so for the longest time, the Bucks have had the perimeter defense issues. Since we've been doing the show, even dating back to Damian Lillard being there, and then continuing to even when they brought in Pat Beverly, they still couldn't figure out those issues. Brayden Burries will bring that. Let me check the stats real quick because I do believe I'm gonna look at his splits and see what his averages were for stocks. Yeah, he averaged like 2 stocks a game, and that's in 30-some minutes, right? And so two steals and blocks a game is solid at that level. Plus, guys, you should be confident about drafting a guy that plays in the best college basketball division year in, year out, and that's the Big 12. The Big 12 is the best division in college basketball, and it's from top to bottom, it's the best, and so you should be happy about that. What do you think? What do you think the best is?
Big 10.
No, absolutely not. Oh my, no.
By far,
absolutely not. Absolutely.
Them boys soft out there in the Big 12. They eat sushi and rice. They ain't cooking nothing.
Nah, top to bottom, it's Big 12. No, it's Big 12.
Jake Roby says I didn't realize. Yeah, I did see Rich. He said Jake Roby says he looked kind of bummed. Rich Paul was consoling him. I wouldn't agree. He looked bummed.
I hate Rich Paul.
But what's interesting is Rich Paul is a very good friend of John. Like they have a very good working relationship. So I'm actually glad to hear that Rich Paul is his agent. Okay, I do want to go to get a few from Twitter, a little bit from Twitter here on the Brayden Burries pick. At S.A. Lorick says, excellent. JJH23 says, good pick. At Cody Wolf says, Horse, nice effing pick, boy. At Rilo Realm says effing steal. And Black Sub 024 says KPJ probably goes to Miami. Has history with Powell and Giannis. Again, that's my only thought is that I could see I could see a scenario where, and again, you guys know how much I like KPJ. It does, again, that guard room is getting very, very crowded. It's getting crowded, and it does seem like that's a tough that's tough to find a way where all those guys can get in and get some legitimate minutes there at that in those spots.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, I mean, when I look at their Final Four run, and I mean, I was kind of aware of this, but just, I mean, even on the worst of shooting nights for Brayden Burries, I mean, he's still double-digit scorer. He's still rebounding the ball at a high level. I think one of the most like eye-popping one is the rebounding. Like rebounding from a guard, averaging 5 in a game in college basketball. I think that shows the potential to be a guy who can get out and grab the ball off the glass and get out in transition. And I'm going to be excited to have one of those because, I mean, we talked about the rebounding efforts last year and how, you know, we were a terrible rebounding team. You think about Moesha and what Bobby Portis weren't doing. Like, even just getting a guard that can go out and grab some boards is always a good sign. And then also being able to impact the game in different ways, shoot the basketball, who can score at a high level. Like, I think this is a dream come true.
All right, 11th pick is in from Golden State, so it won't be the duo that we're looking. Again, this is why, you know, we got to jump right back in it because not like we got 10 and 20, we got 10 and 13. So the Bucks will be back on the clock after this Golden State Oklahoma City pick. But the Golden State won't be the duo that again I was looking for, as Golden State sits in 11 and picks Yaxel Lindenberg out of Michigan. That's where he goes. So now I know we're still kind of getting into Burries and trying to figure out, you know, where we're going again. I will say this has been on Twitter. Imagine that the first time that John Horst gets to draft in the top 10 or something. Now everybody loves the pick. So again, maybe that says something about his drafting ability. People are intrigued by it. But at 13, let's gear right back into it. You picked 11. Where are you going at 13 to round this out for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight in their second pick that they're going to get from Miami?
Well, it sucks that Yaxel goes, you know, because I think in my breakdown, like looking at him and just he was the best player, production wise. What we saw from him in his film, he was better than Nate Ament, clearly, and that's why at least I know a little something if Nate Ament is falling past the Bucks' 10th pick. And Yaxel gets picked ahead of him. So anybody that was like, oh, we want Nate Ament so bad, and Yaxel's too old. Well, clearly the Golden State Warriors didn't think that, right? Clearly the Bucks didn't even think that because, I mean, I'm sure the Bucks probably had Yaxel higher than Nate Ament. So to me, I think they go Hannes Steinbeck.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Steinbeck would be an interesting floor there.
Yeah, because he averaged the most rebounds in Division I. Okay. He's 6'10". He's 250 something, I believe. 250. So good frame. 6'10", 6'11". And he averaged a double-double. 18 points, 12 rebounds, most rebounds in college basketball. Not to mention, German kid from Germany, freshman year at Washington. They weren't good. The team wasn't good. But you see the basketball IQ. You see the European in him that is he's gonna play hard. He's gonna get his because he knows positioning. He knows pro basketball over in college, and he dominated. But the team was ass. But that's Washington. They suck anyway. And I think he was a true bright spot. I mean, you cut on the tape and you see he can rebound offensively and defensively. By the way, a guy that can step out and shoot it just a little bit. I mean, he shot 40% from three on the road, 20% at home. So there was a big disparity there. He was 34% on the year. But I think him being young and having better college stats and playing in a better conference in terms of big men, than Nate Ament, I think you go ahead and you pick that freshman over Nate Ament. Take Hannes Steinbach at 13. That's my mentality here.
What would you do if Mara slipped?
That's just the thing. I mean, we talked about. I did rank Steinbach over Mara in my recent forward video, but I mean, do we want to grab two centers that are gonna do around the same thing? Like Mara won't shoot a three. Mara shot 2 threes all NCAA tournament run. He shot 2 of them. He was 1 for 2, but that's not his game. So he's not gonna space the floor. Now he is smart. He's gonna be in the pick and roll. He's going to, clean up on the glass. But it does speak volumes that now 2 players on that Michigan team are now picked, and Mara has not been picked. When he was just as big of a part as Yaxel and Morris Johnson to me.
You go back to talk about Steinbach. I guess my question again, we talk about his rebounding. My question is defensively. Little thin there to me. Got to fill out a little bit. How old is he? What is he? How old is he?
He's 20.
He's 20. Defensively, is he holding up in the NBA?
I think so too. I mean,
okay.
I think that's true. I think he will, because at the end of the day, when I look at the games where he played top ranked teams, I look at that Michigan game. He was the leading rebounder in that game. He had 14 rebounds in that game for against those guys that Michigan ever so touts, those 3 guys that are going in the first round. So I do think he'll hold up in the NBA, and especially because I think his wingspan is there. I think his ability to move laterally, I mean, you can see it even on the offensive end as well. So I think he'll hold up in the NBA. That might be his biggest deficiency though, immediately coming in, that and 3-point shooting. But I do believe that just when you look at his scoring around the rim, I think that'll be valuable and something that the Bucks really haven't had from a forward in the past. Like I can't really remember if we've had a 4-man outside of Giannis that has really just been money at post moves, and like it's just not there all the time. Like I haven't seen that from Bobby. I haven't seen that from Kuz. I haven't seen that from these guys, and I think Steinbach will be a guy that can score in a traditional post way, like as the Europeans tend to do. I mean, you look at Şengün and those guys and Jokic and all these guys. I think the technique and the fundamentals are there, and I think that'll be valuable for a team like the Bucks.
Let me ask, what would, in your opinion, be like a swing at 13? Would that be a mint, or would, like, I don't know, he's around the part where he should go now, but like what would be if there's a swing guy that like you don't expect, came out of left field, Bucks taking a swing to get, if somebody could potentially be a superstar that we're not really thinking of right now that has that ability in his game, who would that be?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think probably it would be a big swing to go and take a young like Chris Senack from Houston, a 6'11" center who's 240, wingspan 7'5". And he can space the floor a little bit in a better way than Steinbach probably can, because I think he's got a very versatile game offensively. He can step out, he can shoot, he can take people off the dribble. But his biggest deficiency was just the confidence last year. I mean, he was a part of the Houston team that really played terrible down the stretch, and a guy who was Senack was supposed to be a lottery pick, and he dropped because of the way he was dominated in the NCAA tournament by Illinois' bigs. And so, I think that would be a biggest swing here, and I do believe the Bucks are going with the big. That's why I bring that name up. But the rest of this, like 10 through 20, is a lot of guards. There's going to be a lot of guards. I think of like Anderson from Texas Tech, Bennett Sturts, all these guys. So without further ado, go ahead, Trey, because you look like you got something.
OKC at 12 is going the center for Michigan, Mara. So they'll go. Let's see, and you had him behind Steinbach. So again, there's your opportunity for the Bucks to get 2 guys that you were kind of looking at in Burries and Steinbach. But that's the pick. The pick is in for OKC. It hasn't been announced yet, but it's spoiled on Twitter. And so Miami will make this selection for the Milwaukee Bucks, as you mentioned, the hats. But so he'll have a Miami hat on, but this pick is going to Milwaukee.
Throw that hat in the trash.
So to me, when I look at this, right, you just hope that, I mean, because guys, the guy who's still on the board is Nate Ament.
Right.
And
yes.
So you just kind of hope that this isn't a situation where they're like, all right, well, Ament is falling. Let's go ahead and take him at this point instead of, I mean, Steinbach. I have read here and there that Steinbach is a guy that the Bucks are looking at. I mean, and I didn't read this out, but 7'2" wingspan and got good mobility. So I do believe he's going to be a guy that can defend at a high level in the NBA. And the offensive game is certainly further along than I think the defensive game is, even though I think he's good on both sides of the ball. So yeah, I mean, there's two choices here realistically that I think the Bucks are going to make, and you just hope that, you know, after all that, maybe it's not Nate Ament, maybe the Haslam thing. It very well could come to fruition that the Haslam thing and the connection with Tennessee shows up here. Because I would have thought if the Bucks went the way they went, they got Burries, I would have already thought Ament probably would have been off the board here.
Off the board.
But he's not. So, I mean, hey, if they decide, if Horst decides one proven pick, one swing, I would honestly, I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with the Ament here at 13. Where I wasn't going to be okay with it was at 10.
Justin, where do you think who do you think is going 13 here to the Bucks?
I think we're gonna take my baby Giannis guy. I'm sorry, baby. The old 34. I think he'll throw that Miami hat in the trash, and he'll come out and he'll rep Milwaukee, and hopefully he's the best 13 pick we've ever had in the NBA draft, by the way. But I mean, he can't go wrong now because his 10th pick was so solid. So I'm with Chris. I'm okay taking a little bit of a home run here because you already got the single, you got the guy on base. So, hey, what do you need to win a baseball game? A bloop and a blast. So you got your bloop. So let's get the blast. Come on, man.
We'll see what it ends up being. They're interviewing right now. Bucks on the clock by way of Miami. 2 minutes 45 seconds until this one comes in. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm not upset if it ends up being a mint. And again, I've got to do more research. So I'm not gonna say again. I'm not as out as everybody else is. I mean, based on what I saw an okay player. I got to really dig deeper. I gotta dig a little bit deeper into the draft. And again, once I see the picks, I absolutely will have better opinions on this next week once we talk, and I really will focus in and look at some of this. I saw somebody say that a big swing. Dustin Wagner said his big swing would be Allen Graves. Is that way too early? 13 way too early to go Graves?
Yeah, it is. To me, I think it would be a little too early. But you know, I did watch him when they played Kentucky, and he is more of a guy that I think would fit playing alongside Khalil Ware. Like I think a dependable shooter in that spot is certainly needed, but I think it's a little too early with the athleticism gap that you're gonna see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I think that does seem just a little bit early. Again, I could let me see. I see some people on Twitter saying, what do you give me your thoughts on Cameron Carr here? Another a big wing shooter, scorer. Thoughts on Carr out of Baylor?
Yeah, I think he's a good player. I think the stats and the highlights are going to be a little inflated because that was the worst Baylor team I've seen in a long time. Like that team was trash. The team was terrible. And so I think realistically, I like the guys that come from winning programs, teams that won. And the Bucks did that in Brayden Burries. And so I would be hesitant to be picking these guys who either, put up inflated numbers on bad teams, and that's the thing. Steinbach is one of those guys as well. But to me, it's just at the guard spot, I think those are a little easier to come by, guys with inflated numbers, than at the center spot, dominating in a league that has the best centers, right? And so, yeah, I mean, he played good competition. Cam Carr did, but I feel like we're filled out. I feel like we need some depth at the forward, at the center, whatever we decide to do. And I don't know that the Bucks are going to be able to do that if they go with another guard here.
Clock is running down. They're on commercial, but the pick is in.
I feel like that pick traded. It did
take a long. They ran the clock all the way down to 0. I still don't see anything yet being reported. So I don't see anything. I'm looking. Don't see it. Yeah, do you think this? I mean, could you see it? This very well could be a trade. This very well could be a trade here. I don't know.
Jaculates has some.
Pick is in. The Milwaukee Bucks select Tennessee freshman Nate Ament with the 13th overall pick. Nate Ament again. But there's your upside again. There's your upside guy. So you get your floor pick, and then you get the upside player. Wow, that's the pick. That's what I thought was going to happen at some point. And again, maybe Haslam does have a lot. He said, "Okay, fine, you guys take 10, but if he's on the board at 13, he's going." Yeah. Is that how this thing happened here? Wow.
Yeah. To me, this pick is. I could be talked into it at 13 when there was no guards that, like Phylon was good, I thought, but watching the film, it was like, you're not going to get a great athlete. And, when you get somebody that's 215 built like a running back in Brayden Burries at 10, I think you're happy with that. And the guards there are, the rest of them are Bennett Sturts out of Iowa. It's Cam Carr, as we said, put up good numbers on a bad team. It's Abuka Okori from Stanford, but again, put up crazy massive numbers on a bad team. So like, this is I knew the Bucks were going to take forward or take center, and for them to go with Ament here, I could be talked into that because it was either him or Steinbach, and Nate Ament actually made the NCAA tournament. Nate Ament was a part of an NCAA tournament team. Nate Ament still played in the SEC, which is a tough conference at times in college basketball, and certainly had his moments, right? Like I talked about the frame and how that's going to need some developing, but I mean, when I look at the highlight video that I put together of Nate Ament, and he's a skilled player. Like, he has skill. He can score the basketball. He can face up, knock down mid-ranges. He can, at times make threes. Now, he's not the most proven. He's 33% from three. Steinbach had a percentage point on him. But, I mean, he's a skilled basketball player. And like I said, I think he's going to be a plus defender in the league. I'm not, trying to, sit here and switch up and talk myself into the pick. But I know that that this kid still produced. It's not like he was we picked a guy, AJ Johnson, that scored 2 points a game in Australia. This guy put up 16 in the SEC in college basketball as a 19-year-old. So I can't be too mad at it, guys, especially for him to fall 3 extra picks down from what we thought originally he would be picked at 10. So I'm okay with it, and this is a good draft for me. If it takes,
go ahead.
If it takes one swing, and we're gonna, because you're still preserving for the future. Then at this point, like you're still banking on maybe he becomes good. Maybe he is a guy that puts on a ton of weight and he becomes. I compared him to like a Pascal Siakam. I think he could be something like that, right? And maybe he becomes that for the Bucks. And that may take a year. That may take 2. That may happen right now. Who knows? So I'm okay with that. If the first pick we spent was a safe pick, a guy who plays both sides of the ball, who averaged 16 in college at Arizona and was their best guard on the team. So I'm happy with it.
I'll say too. Don't forget that again. This is unlike going to a Doc Rivers. You are going to Taylor Jenkins, who has more of an appetite, who's a much better coach. So at least you feel like you might be able to get the most out of him. Give me a comp, if you will, for Nate Ament if he was, and give me one for Burries too. But give me a comp for if Nate Ament ends up being what the Bucks would like him to be or what he can be. What's the comp, the player comp for Nate Ament?
Yeah, I mean, like I when I was in the draft room, the draft profiles, I was saying, and I said, don't quote me on this, but the way that he's able to score reminds me of Siakam. I mean, it's a lot of.
You did say that.
It's a lot of catching the ball on the wing, and it's facing up, and it's jab, and it's jumper, or it's turnaround jumper, or it's in transition, maybe Euro step dunk, right? Like it's there are a lot of and on the offensive glass too, you saw a little bit of scoring. I worry about the inside game, but like, let's be honest, Pascal isn't the most, physically imposing scorer at the rim. He's just more of a finesse player, and I think that's what Nate Ament is. But defensively, he can be better than Pascal Siakam. Defensively, I think he's going to be a real threat. So, yeah, I'd say he's like a poor man's Pascal right now, but he can become a Pascal Siakam type player because I see the form. The jumper looks pretty. I see the way he faces up on defenders and can get to his spots, and I like that. And so I'd say Pascal and he can score in transition. So. I'd say Pascal Siakam is my favorite comp. And Burries, I'd have to think that, this is a different kind of player than the Bucks have really ever had. I mean, this is a 6'4", really stocky guard that plays both sides of the basketball. And so when I think of guys like that around the league, there's not many. There's not many like really filled out guys like that, 6'4", 6'5", 215. Like that's almost like a Lou Dort kind of build. But to me, I think he's a lot more skilled than that with the ball in his hands. So I'm not sure. I probably have to get back to you on a Burries comp. And I'll eventually, guys, I'm gonna do probably after we get off here tonight. I'm gonna do advanced breakdown, show some of the highlights and stuff, and so that'll be good for you guys to really look at the way that they were getting buckets last year and the way that they rose to their stardom and becoming a lottery pick. But I'd say I'd need a little more time diving into Burries. I think he's definitely a capable scorer that the frame is filled out already, and I love that because you don't need any. Oh, he just needs a little more strength, or he needs a little more speed, or whatever. No, he's a developed player, and I enjoy that. And young. So we got two freshmen guys, which is great.
For me, I'm gonna trust TJ Taylor Jenkins now, man. Let's get it. Come in here, develop these guys. We know previous coaching regimens didn't like to play the young guys, so. Chris, what I'd say, and if Dustin Wagner is right, Anton Walker, Rashad Lewis, heck, even Kevin Garnett, if he's Anton Walker, let's go. And Burris, if he can be a B. Diddy, a Baron Davis,
B. Diddy's crazy.
Yeah, listen. Because Baron wasn't quite 6'4", though. He's a little bit, he's 6'2"?
Baron Davis was a dog.
And the only thing that cost him was a knee injury. So I'm excited about these guys. I hope that we wake up tomorrow morning and we got a couple other guys because, Unc about to get a nap at some point in his joint. We old in his joint. Trey Unc, too. He don't want to admit it, but
I was up last night. I saw the trade. If you missed the trade last night, you
I'm a whole Unc. I'm Papa J. I know what I am. Shit, I don't care. Had my old ass in the bed sleep, waking up, pissing and seeing Giannis pissing all on Milwaukee. We're going to piss on the Antetokounmpo store. We don't want your sponsorship. Go to hell. Anyways, this dude has an opportunity to be the best 13th pick. Y'all know our previous 13th picks, by the way?
Who was it?
Marcus Hayslip, and Jeff Grayer. 2002 and 88. I knew Chris wasn't going to know those. Chris wasn't even born in neither one of them picks.
Me either.
So, hey, man, let's just get a kid a chance to grow, man. He can build his muscle. We saw that the strength staff did a great job with Giannis, or that dude we ain't going to mention no more. So hopefully the strength staff can do a good job to build this guy, because it sounds like he needs some strength. But if he can get that muscle going, man, we're going to be in a good spot, man. And my glass is always half full. I think the Bucks will win more than, what did you say, 32 games? We'll win more than that. We'll win 10 more. We'll win 42 at least.
Yeah, I agree. I think they will be better. And again, I'm happy with everything that happened tonight. Let me go to Twitter. Let's see what Twitter has to say about the picks. At Gabbar MJ 32 says Burries was the perfect hit. Burries was the perfect hit, a double to get a guy on base. Ament is the perfect swing for the fence guy. A+ draft. Alex in 6, this is a great point. He says, don't mind it in a rebuild. Would have sucked if this were still a veteran team. Drew Barrett says Miami can keep him. At the Wisconsin kid says fire John Horst.
Keep who?
He's saying they can keep
Nate Ament.
Nate Ament.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
At Sterling Show TV says this is a Bucks kind of pick. And then at Clint Bucks 1984 says now that we have a very good developmental coach, I think he's going to be really good. At Jositos _way says he's the same players as Jang.
Sure.
What's up?
Your boy Steinbach just went to the Hornets.
Steinbach to the Hornets. Wow, yeah. Steinbach to the Hornets. And again, that's a good pick for them. And the Hornets are just quietly putting together. I mean, they put together a good team. But I like what they're doing. What did Dustin White says? Silver trolled the crowd. What did Silver say? I did see him say something about the Bucks and the Heat, but I couldn't hear it. What did he say, Dustin? And then let me see this. See at Markel Anderson 5 says Nate has some big shoes to fill. Charlotte was a team that's been projected to potentially go after Miles Turner too. Since we're talking about trades and what can the Bucks get for Tina Turner. And I see that's why it says Moesha for 18, Grant Williams and Terrence Mann. He said that's why I said he mentioned that Nate Ament's rights are going to the Bucks in a trade with the Heat. Oh, but nothing else, right? Okay. I see what you're saying. He didn't say that the Giannis was going there. Okay. But yeah, so sum up this night, Chris King and Justin. Give me your again, we're 3 minutes after the Bucks have made their 13th selection. So I know this is a way too early draft grade, but if you were to give a grade on the 2 picks tonight from the Milwaukee Bucks, what grade are you giving John Horst and the Bucks brain trust here as they select Burries and Nate Ament at 10 and 13?
First off, I got to give us an A+ for our coverage of this draft because of how close we were to. Basically everything we said at the beginning of this was like, if one of those guards fall, we're gonna take them at 10, and then we'll try to get Yaxel, and Yaxel goes off the board right away. But I think that this was, all things considered, I was getting worried for a second that they were not going to be able to get one of those guards at 10 or 13, and then it was going to be a double whammy of power forwards. And I didn't want that to happen for the Bucks. And ultimately, Dusty May works his magic and picks his guy at 9, and we end up with Burries at 10. And so I love the pick there. And then 13 with Nate Ament. I didn't necessarily want him at 10, but if it was him or Steinbach, those were the only 2 left. I mean, you look at Johnson was off the board, Landeborg was off the board. Even before that, Mara was off the board out of Michigan. And so, and then, of course, all the forwards that were picked in the top 5 of the draft. So, I think those were the next best 2 options was Steinbach and Ament. And, you went and you picked him at 13. And so you've got your no-brainer in picking a guard, and then you've got your your guy that you're going to take a swing on, but a guy that's still skilled, a guy that can play a little bit. I'm not going to sit here and say he's ass. I never once said he was ass, but I'm in agreement with the people on Twitter that are saying, hey, if it was last year and the Bucks were still trying to compete for a championship, or I mean, maybe they are right now, but if they were, trying to keep Giannis happy and, trying to pick win now players, then I would be a little more disappointed. But since we're in the sense of like, hey, we need a next star, we need to turn this organization around in a couple of years and become, a team that can compete for potentially a championship in the next 5 to 10 years. Maybe that is the right pick. Maybe we do need a project. And I was tired of the project picks, but can't be too tired of it when those are one of the only options left for you at 13 with the forwards.
I also agree with the A+ grade. Tell you a little story.
Oh, actually,
Papa J style.
Hold on. If I gave him a grade, I was saying A+ for our draft coverage, Cream City crossover. I would probably say it's probably honestly, it's probably an A- for me. Like I think there's not much else you could have done. The guys that we potentially wanted were going to be picked off the board or taken, and there was only a couple picks difference between a couple of other guys. Like, yeah, would we have loved to have Kingston Flemings? Yes, but is he a guy you want to trade up 2 spots up for? Not really. Like, I think you still grab the guy who took his team to the Final Four in Brayden Burries. So, yeah, I'm happy with the draft. They did A- for me. Sorry.
Yeah, Chris King, the real teacher. So he grades on a much harder rubric than what I grade on. But I'm gonna go A+, man. Here's why: because I like the kid Burris, man. I think it's a good pick. It's the right pick. It's a correct pick. And then we got, man, I said I wanted a dude that we could build off of and stuff like that. I'm gonna take you down story lane. Sit on Papa J's knee for a second because I'm a papa. I know I'm a papa, Trey. Like, you still trying to decipher this unk stuff. Like, I understand I'm somebody's papa. 2013, I sat in a bar here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Carolina Ale House. You heard of it, Trey. This little dude played a little football by the name of Torrey Holt, had a draft party for the NBA. They drafted some dude. They said, I think the incorrect pronunciation was Giannis, blah, 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 blah. I said, man, who the is that dude? What the f they doing? God. So after that day, I've reserved judgment until 3 to 4 years down the line, man. I like the guard pick from Arizona, though. And I agree, Chris. He's a dog. He led his team to the Final Four. He made sure that James boy didn't get on the floor. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But that's what we need. We need someone that can come here, can handle the rock, take some pressure off a Hero right now while he's here. Sky is not falling. I mean, granted, we lost that dude, but I think we're in a good spot now. I think John Horst had a great draft tonight, and I think he did everything we wanted him to do. So let's see how these guys kind of mature out now. There's a lot more to go. Who knows if Hero will be here? Who knows if this dude will be here? Who knows if that dude will be here? Only thing we know, the black cloud is gone. Let's win basketball games now.
Absolutely. There's no question about it. Again, I'm not as low on Nate Ament as I think some in the Bucks Twitterverse are. So again, I'll do some. I have some more educated takes on it as well, and see what Chris King comes out with as he puts out some more videos for us. Let's see. Dustin White says Ament was 5'9" on most boards. So talking about falling, that's true. The Childs one says, yeah, I'm happy. Don't see how we could have done any better. Dustin White says our guard rotation is sick. Monica says Ament's handle is really interesting at that size. People are comparing him to Jang, but he attacks the basket way more. We'll answer this before we wrap this thing up tonight. James Moore says, what do you think would be best for Hero, keeping him or trading him? It's good. It's interesting, James. You asking what's best for Hero, what's best for the Milwaukee Bucks? Those don't necessarily have to be the exact same answer. But I'll speak for myself. There's always, again, even before the Jaylen Brown conversation got started, with the Boston Celtics and could the Bucks be in on that, there was something about me. I think, and as Swain goes 6-15 to Chicago out of Texas, but there was something in me that, and I think Chicago's had a good night too. I mean, obviously picked 4. They kind of couldn't not have a good night going Wilson Swain.
Yeah, nobody left.
Yeah, it makes it made it a little bit easier. But even before all the potential of Jaylen Brown, like I think there's something to Tyler Hero coming back in his hometown and playing basketball. And again, what do we talk about, Justin? Guys that want to be here. Guys that want. I heard Stephen A. Smith on ESPN saying, because these guys don't pay attention to anything that's going on. Stephen A. Smith's on ESPN like, well, if I got traded from Miami to Milwaukee, I might think about retiring. I might have to retire because that brother, it's cold up there, brother. It's cold up there.
Hey, that's your boy from the Trey Foe. He the Trey Foe. Winston-Salem State of Love.
He went.
Your daddy
he ain't from there. He ain't from there.
He's from New York. Like,
he's from New York, so it's different
too.
But that's what Stephen A. But my point is, Tyler Hero is from the Milwaukee area.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He's a guy that Giannis again. The end got weird. But let's be honest. When all the noise was coming out about Giannis before 2021, a lot of guys would have gone. If that was Anthony Davis, he would have been gone. If that was LeBron before he got to Miami, would have been gone. There's a number of guys out there that would have said, you know what? This is too hard. I don't like Milwaukee. This ain't my cup of tea. Please send me to greener pastures. There's a ton of guys that would have done that. Giannis didn't, primarily because he's from Greece and he's a foreigner and he didn't have those, I'm going to say he didn't have those aspirations, but I think Milwaukee felt like home to him because in America, that was his home. Milwaukee's not a place, again, for as much shit as I'm going to talk about Miami and for as much as I hope they suck and they don't win, and again, I'm not hoping for injuries, but whatever stops them, fine. I want it to stop them. If it's injuries, then the basketball gods have made their choice. And who am I to say that they wasn't supposed to happen? The basketball gods say ball don't lie, right? But it is hard. But my point is, even though they're cash strapped, they're probably going to be an apron team. They're going to spend money to get there. There are going to be guys that decide to go to Miami who, when Giannis was in Milwaukee, were like, nah, I won't go there. They are going, again, as much as it pains me to say, they're going, as much as we like, who they got? They ain't got nobody. They're going to fill out that bench. They will fill out that bench. I'm just being honest with you. Whether it works or not is another story. They're going to fill out their bench with probably some, if you want to call it quality player, they will. Because it's Miami and because guys will want to go there and they're going to want to play with Giannis because it's Miami. And it's the same Giannis that was in Milwaukee. The guys were like, no, we're not going to come here for free and do it, right? Or not say for free, but at a discount and do it because they're cash strapped. It's a different level. My point in that is when you have a guy, LeBron James doesn't want to be in Cleveland. The only reason he was there was because he's from Akron. He would have left Cleveland and never came back. My point is when you have a guy who's from an area, you've got to use that to your advantage. Perfect scenario as to why Jaylen Brown, again, maybe Jaylen Brown would have stayed in Milwaukee. But if you bring Jaylen Brown in, who's to say Jaylen Brown's like, nah, at a year later, nah, I don't want to be there. Tyler Hero's from the state, man. If I just feel like you give him that opportunity. He's averaged 25 before. He's been an all-star. He's in a contract year. I feel like you give him that opportunity. And I want to see him play. He at the end of the day, and his last thing I say, I'll let it go. At the end of the day, Tyler Hero was the best player to come back in the trade for Giannis.
Yeah.
Now again, it might end up being Ware. But right now, the best player that you got back was Tyler Hero. I give him that opportunity and let him play in front of his home crowd and see if that sparks something. And again, when he's healthy, he's a good player. When he's healthy, he is a borderline all-star when healthy. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to play. He's got to stay on the court. But if you're telling me he's a 22, 23 a night type of guy, I'll take that, and we'll see what we can get. Bunch of young guys. This should be at the end of the day. It should be a very fast, very exciting team. It'll be much more exciting. New coach. Again, Skip Bayless just tweeted the Bucks gonna be better. I don't know Skip Bayless, but Skip Bayless tweeted the Bucks gonna be better than a lot of people think. I agree with him. Again, this team will be. It's going to be again. It's not Giannis.
Wins.
It's not Giannis, but it's a breath of fresh air. Is what we're going to see from this Milwaukee Bucks team. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, and I want to see Tyler Hero in the Bucks uniform, and I want to see him play. And last thing, hey, y'all gonna shoot me if I say this?
What's that?
We can repaint that mural that they got, the Giannis mural. Put up that Tyler Hero there. Put it right up
No. No.
I saw that on I saw you post that on Facebook.
No.
Trey posted that on Facebook already. It's already up there.
Facebook.
Tyler Hero looking like Slim Shady up on the mural.
Okay, my bad. I'll just do that.
No, Trey, I think the best point you made last night was that it can't get any worse than 5 straight first round exits.
Yeah.
I mean, like it could be worse for the first couple of years. I mean, who knows? Maybe they don't make the playoffs. But we just didn't make the playoffs. We just sat at home while the playoffs just happened. And so to me, there has to be something in Bucks fans where it's like, all right, we're ready to turn the cheek. Doc Rivers was trash last year and for the Bucks and his whole tenure. Giannis was a diva towards the end. There should be a chance given to Tyler Hero off of the strength that, hey, even though Tyler Hero in the past has had a little bit of drama, but that was in Miami. He was a young player. He's gonna want to, I think, embrace the city, embrace playing for his home team, and embrace playing under a head coach that had the shit end of the stick in Memphis, playing with some young guys and some other experienced guards and having fun and taking those Miami Cats that played well with him to this Milwaukee team. I think it's going to be it's going to be fun, guys. Like it is a breath of fresh air. Whether they get 40 wins and are a playoff team or a play-in team, like I think we're still going to enjoy it because it's going to go better, and there's going to be a lot more to look forward to in the future than what we had with Giannis and flaming out and not playing in the playoffs or not making the playoffs or all this stuff in the media. Like let's just reinvent the Milwaukee Bucks that were lost in the past 5 years. Let's do that. How about that? Because it was a 5 years of darkness for us. It was terrible. It was so many high expectations and then it all crumbled, came crashing down real fast. Like let's just make the situation better and better and better and see what happens. Because there's teams out there that are more consistent than the Bucks were ever in those 5 years.
I do understand. That's a good tweet. Swanko 5. Excuse me, good post. Comment. He says Swanko 5351 says those hometown hero shirts are gonna sell like hotcakes. I like hometown hero.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy one. Like, listen. So, first of all, both of y'all right. No, number one, Chris right. There's so much stuff in malarkey 5 years. You know why that was? Because Ding Dong, the Wicked Witch, is gone. That's why. He's the one that caused all this stuff. Can't skate from it. You want to skate, you should have been a Carolina Hurricane. Because you skating, bro. But Trey, you gotta bring the hero dude home, man. I don't want to see him traded. Y'all know, y'all made fun of me. I got the Hero Brewers hats in this joint. I like Tyler Hero. This is his redemption. He crapped on Wisconsin when he went to Kentucky, and now he's here to make amends. And guess what? I saw Hero carry that heat when Bam went down because he tripped over LaMelo's foot that was a dirty play. We know it was a dirty play. But Bam was gone, and it was Hero carrying them to double overtime against that vaunted Hornets team. Fight your mom if you don't think they vaunted. Anyways, I like Hero here. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get the Hero jersey. That's it. He got to stay. And you know what? Let that boy throw out the first pitch for the Milwaukee Brewers. He deserves it. Put him out there. He going to throw it better than Thanasis' weak-ass throw. I ain't sorry. Thanasis shouldn't even have been in the NBA. We done had Cameron and Mace make fun of us because this dude was here. All that shit is done now. We got dudes here that want to hoop. We got a coach here that want to coach. We got owners here that want to own. And y'all can say what y'all want to say about Jimmy Haslam. I understand why he gets what he gets for that Cleveland Brown stuff, but he's making chicken shit and more chicken shit. It is what it is. Cleveland Browns were never going to be good. They ain't never going to be good. And goddamn it, by the time I'm dead and gone, they still ain't going to be good. They the goddamn Cleveland Browns. Only thing Cleveland ever had the mistake by the lake was LeBron James and a bunch of dudes that played baseball that never lived up to anything. That's why Chris King roots for the Reds. Just saying. So look, it's time to let this dude go off, and he want to chase things in Miami. I'm gonna tell you something though. Trey, you said something about people coming to Milwaukee. People ain't want to come there. Hey man, them fat broads in Miami a lot better than the fat broads in Milwaukee. So I'd probably go to Miami too. I ain't mad at them, but we gonna let him go ahead on with them fat broads out there in Miami, and we gonna let him do his thing. And hopefully Thanasis can find a wife out there because he damn sure couldn't find one in Milwaukee. Neither could Alex. Ain't no one want them sorry ass.
We'll let that slide, but no, I mean, listen, all of it is valid, and yeah, man, I want to see. I see Dustin saying Rollins, Hero, KPJ, Burries, Casp, and all these guards. That's when in that guard room. Look to your left, look to your right. Somebody's not going to be here. There's just no way.
Hey, about AJ Green too.
AJ Green, another one. You know, I think the Bucks probably value him.
What would JT say for all them guards? Let the G's in the crib. G's in the crib.
Let
the Bucks' second round pick is tomorrow, right?
They don't. Well, yeah, second round is tomorrow, and the Bucks do not have a second round pick. So no second round pick.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, no second round pick. So I know no need for us to go live tomorrow. Go ahead. Yeah, what's up?
I know you about to close it out because you were unking the pillows calling your name. No pause. Hey, what we gonna do if they trade back in this joint or something? We gonna come back live again or something? Like what we gonna do? Because I need to go get me some Red Bull or something to stay up all night. That's what we do.
If they trade back in, well, I'll jump back on. Yeah, I'll be up. I don't think that's gonna happen. But I'll be up if something does happen. If there's a Miles Turner trade, if there's any type of news, you know, we hear. So I mean, we can jump back in if we hear anything that takes place with the Milwaukee. But if there is a again, because you talk about trade, I just don't think it's gonna happen at this point. But again, in theory. Well, because the talk of the potential trade, if you remember, was let me look at my board again.
How many picks? OKC got more first round picks.
Well, they just made a trade too. But the talk of the potential Tyler Hero deal was Hero to Detroit for potentially Ron Holland in 21 at the very least. So you do have 21 coming up. So I mean, if the Bucks do get past. So if the Bucks don't trade Tyler Hero and go shut up, if the Bucks don't trade Tyler Hero and go to 21, I hit the Porky Pig on that one. If the Bucks don't trade Tyler Hero and go to 21, at least he's gotten past that stage there, which was a thought process. If Detroit was really looking to grab Tyler Hero, which again would not be a bad look for them. Like that is a player who I think could help the Detroit Pistons as a team. If you're a team who is trying to ascend to a championship level, and you could get a deal done for Tyler Hero, again, can he be your number one guy? No. Can he be your number two guy? Debatable. But if you were to like drop him in for a young player into Detroit. Oh, I think that's a steal. I think that's a
But
steal.
Trey, he was your number one guy and had to go against that vaunted LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges.
He was
What's
coming
your
off
boy?
an injury though.
But he still went crazy in that double
Oh, I see what
overtime
you're saying.
game.
Yes.
And
No,
I think
he has in him. And again, he was number 2 guy when Miami went to the finals.
facts. As a young boy.
Yes.
As a young boy. Yeah. I'm confident in Hero, man. I don't know if we extend him for a max or anything like that. I don't know. And I always told you gentlemen, when you coming back and you playing in front of your hometown, it's tough. Caron Butler said that. But I think that Jenkins has something, man. And I think that he's developed a Ja Morant into what Ja Morant was before all that stuff went crazy with Ja. And I think that Jenkins is a good coach. And we got a lot of young talent now. And that's why I'm so excited.
Yeah, we do. We got a lot of young talent. And it doesn't seem like a team that's just going to be like a bunch of scrubs either, right? Like, I think you have a lot to look forward to when it comes to this basketball team. And honestly, like, a lot to unpack, right? Like, there's going to be some performances in the summer league that we're going to check out. And so be on the lookout for that. You know, obviously have a couple of deeper breakdowns into Nate Ament, and especially because it's now going to be from a positive angle. And, you know, Brayden Burries as well.
Also, Detroit did trade. I didn't realize what happened. Detroit traded 21 to Memphis, and they picked for me. Obviously, we were just talking, and Memphis got the 6. So that 21 pick is gone. They've already made that trade. So at least as of tonight, so basically the last 2 minutes of me talking was moot. But at least as of tonight, yeah, there is no trade for Tyler Hero because the reported place is Detroit. And he's not going to go there as they already made a pick. They got Okori, which again is a good pick for Detroit. And Memphis is going to get 5. Oh, Memphis has acquired 5 second-round picks to trade down from 16 to 21. Interesting. Wow. Okay.
So
interesting.
Real quick, Tyler Hero has an opportunity to become the greatest Wisconsin basketball player to play for the Bucks, and arguably the greatest Wisconsin athlete to attend high school there, to play for your hometown team. Because, you know, my Packers didn't want to get TJ Watt, but we'll talk about that a different time. This is a unique opportunity for Hero, and he has an opportunity to set that benchmark so incredibly high. Because, I mean, you're competing against a Joe Wolf, Caron Butler for a year, a Wesley Matthews. Like, Tyler can set this bar so high, it's unattainable by anybody. And Lord have mercy, if this dude and Jenkins and these guys in 2 to 3 years find a way to get to that mountaintop again, oh, baby, it's crazy out here, man. It's really crazy. You might not even build a statue, then.
Like I said, I'm all good on that mural if they want to do something with it.
No, hey, real the mural. Yeah, no, it's not Tyler. It has to be the Miz. Or Jackson Churio. It has to be biggest baseball state ever. I was listening to Sparky today. Sparky said,
but they not up. They put it where they play at. They don't play down there. No. They don't play. I'm just saying they don't play that. That's on your boy Bud Selig. They could have been down there, but they not. Put them over there by that damn man. Put a mural on the side of that IHOP down there.
Oh, you're crazy.
Yeah, that's why you put a mural on the side of that IHOP down there where the damn stadium at. You didn't want to put a stadium. You didn't want to put a stadium downtown. Take y'all ass up there. That's where you can put your mural. So, at. You don't get no spots downtown if you don't want to put a stadium down there because you want all the parking spots, bud.
So how petty, and we're building an entertainment district. It's on the way.
Ain't nobody entertaining down there.
So if I'm the Bucks, and I don't remember who I heard this from on the radio. One thing, shout out to Sparky, though. I did hear from Sparky. You do not build that statue while that dude's still playing. Absolutely not.
No.
But what I do, if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, this is what I do, because I'm petty. I don't care. When the Miami Heat come to town first game of the year, you know whose jersey I retire?
Ray Allen.
Facts.
You can't do that, though.
In his face. We'll play your tribute video.
You can't do that, though. Because, let me ask you this. You can't do that.
Why?
Because you can't. No, you can't. You can't put Ray Allen. Like, I don't know what you do. Ray Allen can't get his jersey retired. It is what it is.
I retire Ray Allen first.
You can't.
Why?
You can't.
Dude's still playing. You can't retire his jersey till he's done playing.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Hey, it's petty. It sends a message.
So Ray Allen have his jersey. So Giannis don't have his jersey retired, or you have 234s. No.
Yeah, you'll have 234s.
That's
eventually,
insane.
you eventually got to have 234s because Ray Allen was epic for the Bucks in his run.
Ray Allen got to go on the wall of fame. So they got to make a wall of fame. Put him in the concourse. Sorry.
I retired.
I don't know what I don't know what Denver's gonna do with Melo. I don't know. Would they have retired his jersey anyway? Maybe they wouldn't have retired his jersey in Denver.
I think you retire Ray Allen when the Heat come to town and you have a ceremony, and then you play his little bullshit tribute video after that.
Can't do that.
Hey, are y'all cheering Giannis when he come back to Milwaukee, or would you boo him?
No, we said we're cheering him. Hey,
you can't boo him.
Who are the Hornets picking here? This is
Christian Anderson here, Texas Tech.
Ooh, I like that. He's a good guard. It's a good pick for you guys that
I'm booing
frequent the Hornets games occasionally. You're booing Giannis?
I'm booing him. Absolutely.
Hey, I'll tell you.
I'll boo Favre and I'll boo Rodgers.
Y'all want me to tell you? Y'all want me to tell you a guy who is probably going to go? I don't know where he's going to go. Is he going to be a second round guy or not? But a guy who I wish he's going to get drafted. So it's not. There's no way you're going to be able to get him as any type of free agent sign or any undrafted free agent or anything like that. But you tell me what you think about this. But a guy who I don't know how you find. There's no way you can find a way to do it. But I think he's going to be really good. Isaiah Evans out of Duke. I got it. He's going to be I've watched the kid. He's from Charlotte. Saw him playing high school. I mean, you talk about a guy with so much moxie, so much like it's just I'm better than you. I don't care. I just have a again. He's not going to be high on any draft. He's not going top 10, top 20. But Isaiah Evans, mark my word, this is a guy who, if he can get it going, can shoot the lights out of basketball. That's my pick for just a random guy late in the draft who's going to be one of them guys. Again, let me not say one. He's going to be a value player in the NBA. I think he's going to stick around the NBA, be a good player. That's just my 2 cents on something.
Well, I think that is
just because I don't watch a lot of college, and I that's the guy who I do like.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen him hoop, and I like
shoot the three. But like. That's the thing. The Bucks really, I mean, there are still some holes on this basketball team. So I wouldn't put it past that they may re-enter this draft, or we'll see a lot of, cutting people and signing people after the draft ends and stuff like that. I don't know. When does that happen? When do we start cutting people and figuring out free agency?
I mean, it's a good,
isn't that
point.
after the draft?
July 6th, I think is
July 6th is when the new league year starts, and you can start making announcements on trades and everything of that nature. So again, there's no doubt this thing that trade could open up with multiple teams. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that does happen.
And you could get a couple second round picks in it too,
right,
at some point.
What do you think?
My guy.
My bad. I just
say Zachary Cleveland. That's what I've been crying. I've been crying for him all year. I love Zachary Cleveland. Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you guys think the biggest needs are at this point with this basketball team as is? Because I think that's something that I guess we didn't really talk about at the beginning of the draft videos and stuff like that. But like, what are, now that we see the way that this is playing out, now that we saw who we got back for Giannis, now that we saw who we just drafted in the first round, 2 lottery picks, like, what are the biggest needs for this basketball team at this point? What needs strengthened? What needs what fat do we need to trim? Like, what do you think it is?
Well, my question would be: do you have your biggest need is you need a 1A. What you need is a go-to guy. And again, if you're gonna tell me that's Tyler Hero, it's Tyler Hero. But you need a go-to guy that you can always look at. And go to for scoring, and you can trust all of the time, which again, your go-to guys who are left would be right now Tyler Hero, Ryan Rollins, hoping he takes another step forward, and then a guy who I personally, again, I like him. It doesn't matter if I like him, but I don't think he's going to be here just because of that guard room. KPJ is the guy who at the end of games you can get a ball to and tell him to go do something. So you need a go-to scorer. You need a guy who can play make at all times. And right now, I don't know that you have one of those players that can do that. And the other thing is, do you really have those the big wings, right? That you're talking about? Because again, you look at all these guards. How tall is the kid we just drafted?
6'5".
6'4".
How tall? 6'4", 6'5"?
6'4" and 3/4.
Do you have how many of those guys do we have? How many of those 6'6", 6'8" guys? Where are those guys? I mean, you got what? Jang, Asamoah Jang.
TP.
You have who? Yeah, okay. And who else? Like where you don't have those guys that are
Pete
are
Nance.
in there that can, yeah, right. Pete Nance is a six. Pete Nance is 6'9", but he's more of a true four than I'm talking about that 2-3 type of player, swing player, like a TP that his natural position is the 3,
like Trey Murphy.
6, Trey Murphy, right? Though so to me, those are the two things you're missing on this basketball team: that true swing player that can defend those. That can defend your Jalen Brunches, that can defend your Jason Tatums, that can defend those bigger wings that are out there. And then two, Kuz. And then, but again, even him, big 4. But and then I think you're just missing that big time playmaker that you want to go to at all times, that you're going to feel comfortable giving the basketball to in any situation. And again, I don't know that. Do you have that? Though either one of those players on your team. And again, what you're really hoping that Khalil Ware is going to be a guy. Again, there's been issues with his development, because I don't think you really have I guess you could make the argument. You could make the argument that Moesha had a bad year under Doc Rivers. You could make the argument that it was an outlier year for Miles Turner. You can make that argument. But again, I think you move him out. But you can make that argument that Miles Turner is still a good player. And last year was an outlier. But if he can't play without being under a Tyrese Halliburton type or something like that, then you are banking on Khalil Ware being a guy. And again, is he ever going to be a franchise guy? No, but you are banking on him being a starting caliber, upper echelon, not a top 10 center in the NBA. That's what you're banking on, that you're getting out. And Howard, I think he's 22. So that's what you're banking on, and you're hoping that you have that on the roster right now. Otherwise, you're looking for that too.
I think you need veteran leadership too. Like we don't have any more vets left in this team to kind of corral these young guys. I think we got enough to kind of make nowhere a championship run or nothing like that, but enough to be top 10 in the East right now, provided Jenkins coaches the way we expect him to coach, provided these young guys step in and do their role. Oos takes a step, Rollins takes a step. I don't know if KPJ is here. If he's here, take a step. If he's not, good luck to you. Best of wishes. No hard feelings. But we need a veteran though, man. We need someone to come in and kind of corral the guys and get them in the shape, ready to hoop, man. And that's I think what you're going to significantly miss from a true leader like a Bobby Portis.
Hey, would it be bad though? I mean, like I'm seeing a lot of the chats talking about, like, you know, what are we going to get the most value for trading Rollins? And maybe if the guard room is that packed, like if you trade Rollins, you may be able to get some good back, right? Because that contract is not that much or whatever it is. Doesn't he have an appealing contract? And then on top of that, you're getting a young player, whereas we just take a shot in the dark here with Burries, and you've got Tyler Hero and KPJ. I mean, I don't know. Is that something that you would be willing to do? Because think about it. Would New Orleans, like, if they need a guard, right? Like, would New Orleans be like, hey, we'll give you Trey Murphy if we can get Rollins?
They got what's the name?
DeJounte Murray's barely healthy.
No.
Fierce?
Yeah.
Yeah, but those guys, I do feel like they could complement each other maybe. I don't know. I mean, potentially. That's what I would think to do next if I was like, let's bolster this roster.
One thing I'll say first is shout out. I was watching.
See how it looks.
Shout out to real basketball fan. That's why I love Spike Lee. He's at the draft right now. Like I like he ain't just showing up to the games in the finals. So shout out to Spike Lee. He's literally sitting at the draft. So you got to give him a shout out. Two, your question. How old is Rollins? 26, 25?
Ooh, I think he's probably 25, 24, 24 maybe. 24, I think. 24.
Ryan Rollins is twice 23. He'll be 24 July 3rd. I just think at some point I want to see these guys on the floor. I want to see these guys. I want to see these guys compete and play before I go, you know what? Let's trade Ryan Rollins and try and get a piece. Like I also don't want to go past the process. Right? I don't want to skip past the process of thinking we can compete. And again, I want to compete with our young players first and just see where that goes. So I y'all are probably right. There's a return you could get out there for Rollins, but I want to see these guys get on the basketball court with Taylor Jenkins and have Taylor Jenkins go to work and try again. I think this is a top. Let me if you can do something with Miles Turner and Kyle Kuzma, it's a top 7 team in the East. I truly believe that. I believe this is a top 7 team. What do I always, and if John Ty said, he tell you what I tell you all the time. If you go out there every night and play hard as hell, you'll win 40 games.
Right.
Just because you play harder than everybody. If this team buys in to Taylor Jenkins, they'll win 40 games just if they hustle their ass. If they run their ass off every single night, they'll win 40 games like that. I think because they have enough talent. Provided you keep Tyler Hero. Now, again, if you're not keeping Tyler Hero, I think, and he's not, I think you're in trouble because I just don't see again. And I do love Rollins. I just the score. I think he can score. I don't know if he can score on a winning team at the clip at 20 plus, and I don't see it. Maybe I don't know. But my answer would be yeah. Could you get something for him? Yes. Could you even compete and be? Yes, you could. But I don't want to. What I don't want to do is skip steps. I really don't. I want to let this thing play out because I think they can be good even if they don't skip the steps. And once the iron is hot and it's time to strike, then I think you strike. That's a good point. Oh wow, great point, Dustin Wagner. We ain't talking about Jaquez enough. That is a good. I forgot about Jaquez. I forgot about Jaquez. Wow. I didn't talk about him at all.
He is the forward, the small forward. Yep. He's the starting small forward.
Jaquez can play. He can play. And he's another guy. He pencil me in 15 tonight.
I've got to say too, like they really went and grabbed the guys that have the. I mean, the Khalil Ware had motor issues in Miami, whatever, but Jaime Jaquez is going to play hard on both sides of the ball, no matter what. Even if he's at an athletic disadvantage, sometimes he's a mismatch, whatever. He's going to play hard, and he's a good player. And so I'm certainly happy that we've got Jaquez as well coming over from Miami because I do think that it's going to change the mentality of this Bucks team. The way that they came from last year, like just slacking off all the time, blowing leads and a bunch of this not caring crap to now. I think we're going to see a switch in the mentality, plus a new head coach, and just a switch in the play style. And I'm super ecstatic about that. That is a great point.
I think every one of these young guys we got from the Miami Heat have a tremendous upside. And one thing about their late round drafting, like we can talk about Horst and all this stuff and not having lottery picks, and that's a lot of the stuff you see on the Twitter machine and stuff like that about John. But one thing that you can't deny is that Miami Heat front office did draft well at the end of that first round. And I'm with you, Jaime. I'm with it. I'm with the other guard from Illinois. Can't pronounce his name yet, but we'll get there soon. Where I like to see what he's going to bring to. And I just think that a lot of that stuff, man, and we talk a lot, and Trey, you mention it all the time, the Heat bullshit culture that they have. And I think that's a lot of fraudulent stuff, man. Spoelstra is a great front runner. He coaches well on great teams that have a little bit of issues or guys that have a little bit of issues and stuff like that. He doesn't develop them. One thing you can't say about Taylor, he doesn't develop guys. Ja Morant had as many issues on and off the court as you could possibly have, and he made that brother into an all-star, potentially the face of the NBA. I'm not going to say that he just made it because we're not going to discredit Ja for the work that he put in. I'm excited to see what Taylor does with these guys. All these guys from Miami, 2 young guys we got in this draft, and whatever else will come with it. And I think Tyler's a great piece, man, and I want the hero to stay home. If he doesn't stay home, I get it, man. We're still a fan here, bro. Even though you screwed Wisconsin. Sorry, though. I'm over it, allegedly, Chris King. I'm over it, allegedly.
The chat's making a good point. We're not talking about Casper either. We ain't talking about Casper's either. Who
that? That's the dude name I can't pronounce.
Yeah, but here's my other question. Here's my question on that, and because again, I don't want to. I started hyping myself up. Oh, it's good, and I go, Well, these guys were with Miami last year, and they had again. Hero was hurt for a lot of it, so maybe that's the difference. But you add Bam Adebayo, Norm Powell, Wiggins to that, and how many games did they win last year? So am I overstepping by saying that? We're talking about some of these additions and some of these things that we're gonna have, and it's a team last year that won with Bam Adebayo, Norm Powell, 43 games, and all those same type guys. We're talking about Jaquez, Ware, again, Spo sat Ware down, Kasparis, but I'm just saying those guys were there. In addition to, again, talk shit all you want about. Bam Adebayo is a big time player.
Yeah.
Norm Powell was putting up 20 a night, and they won 43 games. Got knocked down to play in. So,
but I don't think
are we overselling? Am I overselling when I'm talking about all these additions and we got this, that?
You're not saying number one team in the East. You're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're all in agreement. We're about 42 to 45 wins tops type thing, right? We're not going off the deep end saying we're going to win 62. And I think 10 games up with these guys, and it's not just these guys, though. And as much as I like Doc, because he's my Marquette guy, clearly his coaching had got stale.
That's true.
And you got Taylor Jenkins, who's allegedly a master motivator. Look at the guy. Look at his resume. Triple J, Dylan Brooks. All these guys are allegedly character guys to other people that he found a way to get these guys to buy in to win in Memphis. If he can do that in Milwaukee, I don't think 42, 45 wins is out of the question when we had a dude in Milwaukee who was behind the scenes causing more drama than Love and Hip Hop. Pick your goddamn city.
Well, I also think that it's important to bring up that like Jericho Sims really started to come along in terms of motor and production on the rebounding aspect from the Bucks last year. And so like there is a lot of credence to what you're saying, Justin, in the sense that like Memphis played their best ball when Taylor Jenkins was the head coach. And what the Bucks will need to have though is they're going to need to have somebody step up and become the Ja Morant of Memphis. Like those teams, they're going to need one of those bigs to step up as the Jaren Jackson Jr. for it to work, for Jaquez to be that Dylan Brooks going to a new place and thriving. Like they're going to need that to really compete at the highest level. But I think that the outline and the build of this team right now is very encouraging in the sense that, hey, we've got new life in the building. We've got a lot of options. People can flourish here, and it's got to happen under the new head coach as well. So I'm excited for it. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what the Bucks got in Brayden Burries and Nate Ament, and see if, once we get to summer league, see how that ends up translating, and free agency and all that stuff. I mean, it should be a good summer for us.
And that's why it's so interesting when you look at the trade that the Bucks got for and the haul for Giannis, because it feels like you should have gotten so much more. It feels like you gave this big time player and you didn't get everything you could. But then you look at it and you go, wow, for as much as people want to say, or for as much as anybody would say the Bucks didn't get what they could have gotten, or man, it seems underwhelming. they really did reset the cupboard. Now, whether we'll see if these things pan out and pay off, but they at the very least reset their cupboard. And we'll be honest, there is a chance that Giannis is damaged goods. There is a chance of that, and so you really reset your franchise, and you, at the end of the day, what you get, you gave yourself a chance. You gave yourself a chance now, because at the end of the day, and again, would I have done it if Giannis had said, if you could rewind all this, and Giannis said, hey, I'll resign with you, let's run it back, I would have ran it back. I would run it back until I couldn't anymore. But because Giannis made the decision to step away, he gave you the opportunity to start it over. And again, you're starting it over with a bevy of young players from Miami. You're starting it over now with him being hurt. Again, isn't it in a way, isn't it better that he got hurt and you didn't have to play around with him not being hurt until the playoffs and you lose in the first round, and now you picking 18, 19. Instead, you get the 10th. He gets hurt. You don't let him play again. You pick 10th. Isn't that a better? Isn't that what happened with San? Again, not the same thing, but isn't that with San Antonio? Isn't it better that Wemby missed time, got hurt year one, had the blood clot year two, and you end up, and again, not the same thing, but they end up because of that with Steph Castle and Harper and Dylan Harper, and then you go and run with those guys. Isn't it better that it ends up that way? So I mean, it ends up, him being hurt ends up being a blessing. Him making the decision to leave probably ends up being a blessing. And now you start over with, again, all these young guys. Again, this overnight, this Bucks team went from old and slow and veterans and, man, what are they doing? This is a young basketball team. If you get rid of Kuz and Miles Turner, it's an entire youth movement in Milwaukee. So overnight, you've transformed your franchise. Now, again, the question is, how good can it be and how good is it? We'll see, but all you got to do is hit on one or two. Could Nate Ament end up being something that ends up crazy? Can Tyler Hero does he have a step? Again, I told you all the time, how much would I love to be wrong and Ryan Rollins have another gigantic leap in him? If he does, as an old coach, cooking with gas. If Ryan Rollins has another leap, you're cooking with gas. So everything is, I know I'm getting myself ramped up and excited about this, but I keep telling you guys in the chat, this ain't over, man. The national, I'm talking to the chat right now. The national media is writing you off. They are writing the Milwaukee Bucks. They're saying it's over. You're irrelevant. You're done. You've lost Giannis. We have accomplished our goal of getting your superstar out of town, and now we've relegated you to nothing. And what I'm saying is that not so fast, my friend. There's some life in this franchise, and again, to me this year, even though it's not Giannis and people are sad about it, I don't know, man. This feels so much better than what we went through in the last 13 months with Giannis really starting back. Now, you're going to talk shit about Shams, really starting back from that last summer, where he talked to John Horsey in Greece and stated at least some type of intention that he would have wanted to play in New York. And basically ever since that moment, he had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And now in theory, everybody that plays for Milwaukee wants to be there. And at the end of the day, it's a good feeling for me.
It's a good feeling, and they're not done, right? Like, I mean, you talked about Miles Turner. You talked about, we've talked about Gary Trent and Taurean Prince and Kyle Kuzma, and what the Bucks could possibly do this summer is intriguing. Like, they could potentially not be done. And if they, who knows, maybe they hit on an undrafted free agent. Maybe somebody in Summer League shines like we saw Ryan Rollins shine pretty early in Summer League. And now you're cooking with even more. And so I think that's what it's time to be excited about is like there's always potential here as we're going through it for it to even get better. Could get worse, but could be even better. So just super happy about that, and the fact that they were able to get, because you mentioned that Giannis could potentially be damaged goods. Well, the fact that they were able to retool instead of immediately get 6 first-round picks and all of them have to hit in the next couple of years, and they're getting players that can actually play in the NBA that were on a part of a play-in team last year. And so I'm happy that they were at least able to get multiple players out of it, some value back, and get an influx of young players and with the new young coach. So certainly agree with you and excited for what's to come with this Bucks squad and with the Cream City crossover here, because, who knows how we would have felt about it. I mean, we'd still support and still do the show, but this feels like it's a little more mojo to this show now that we have the potential to still turn it around without a full reset.
Yeah, I feel like I'm about to go out here and run a 5K tonight, man, because I'm so excited, man. I'm going to tell you this, man, and y'all folks in the chat, y'all told me I was crazy. You remember that, Trey? We had that show before the Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals. I told them that the Knicks, I told them all that stuff with the Spurs and the Jalen Brunson. They was like, man, that dude's crazy. New name now, Nostradamus. So I'm telling you, how crazy would it be to see Tyler Hero and Taylor Jenkins, first year in Milwaukee, playing the NBA Finals and go further than Giannis? I called him by his name this time. Further than Giannis and them boys down there in Miami. Or just go further than the Miami Heat in the playoffs. They ain't got to go to the finals. What if they went to the semifinals and Miami was one and done? Man, how like you talk about a victory lap, a cigar. It's been a long time since we just celebrated a playoff win. And if we got a playoff win the first year when dude ain't here, yikes. Yikes. That statue getting smaller and smaller, my G. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you, man. I feel good. The Bucks to me have a direction. They have a direction, and they're gonna build on it this offseason. We'll see what this team ends up looking like. I will say at the end of the day, I want Tyler Hero here. I do want him here because I think he gives you the best chance of competing. Again, maybe they flip for something. But I think he gives the best chance of competing instead of. I would feel that's more of a retool than a rebuild. It is a rebuild, but you have a little bit of retool there instead of a full rebuild of you have a big time score and again today I call him for him all. He was an all-star. He was an all-star in Tyler Hero. Go ahead. What's up?
You want him here? No, we want him here on Cream City Crossover. Tyler, we want you to come here. Ain't no other place you should be if
come on to Cream City Crossover. Hey, I'm advocating for the mural. You come to Cream City Crossover. We'll get you a mural. We'll do that.
Hey, real quick, Trey.
Go ahead.
Andy Alleman says, is it crazy we aren't talking about Usman to go with all of our young guys? Am I missing something? I guess I could go and answer that. It's just like, to me, there's a potential that we got a little above our horses a little bit on Usman Jang. Like, when he comes in and goes and drops, what was that one game? How much did he have? He had a career high 30 something against the Thunder in a revenge game or whatever. We were all going crazy, right? But I think we had to pump the brakes a little bit as the season progressed. And so I think that's why that doesn't mean we don't think he could be a great player in the future. But I do think that there's a little part of it where it's like, he might have humbled us a little bit with how quickly we were pushing him, being like, oh, this great find by Horst, and in reality he had some rough ones in there. Still learning though, still young.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say that I would say on Usman, like I would agree with that assessment that it felt like maybe got a little above our britches, when he first got into the lineup. And again, he's raw. How old is Usman? He's what, 20,
24, 25,
24.
maybe?
He's a very raw player. I mean, again, you throw him in there with all those guys, he's going to get all the opportunity in the world to cement a spot in the rotation. And he's going to have some flashes. It's consistency for Oos. It's consistency for him. And we'll see what it ends up being.
And I think this last year we were grasping at straws for something to cheer for.
Yeah,
like we just wanted a piece of positivity. I mean, that's why when you saw these guys playing together against those bum teams, man, this is the best supporting and it had the capability to be that, but we ran into a lot of if come maybes in it wasn't. And you know, I'll die on that hill the same way I'll carry the victory lap on the other hill, man. I just wish the victory lap was more for the Bucks one instead of the damn Knicks, because I'm still sick at that. And those disgusting fans.
Philon goes 22 to Philly. Is that a little? Did he fall a little bit, or was that about where he was supposed to go?
Yeah, I think he has some issues with the shooting drills. I think he didn't perform great in the shooting drills, and then just the athleticism kind of had teams a little worried. But I mean, he is a great player. He can score. He can certainly fill it up. And so I think, you know, him and Maxey are kind of similar players to me. Just doesn't have that burst that Maxey does. So we'll see what happens with that.
Lakers need a big Miles Turner for 25. Is that good enough for you? Or do you need something else with it?
Well, there got to be some salaries coming back. That's $100 million just going out. So there had to be some salaries coming back. If he's going out, because he makes $20 million a year, so you got to be doing something there.
So what's the boy they tried to send to Charlotte?
You talking about I know you're talking about. His name escaped me. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Dalton Connect, is that him? Connect.
Well, but no, who was Charlotte sending that didn't work? Yeah, they would try to give Connect. You're talking about Rui Hachimura would be interesting. I don't know how much he makes. I can't see. I can't see that. I can't see that happening. But your Lakers would. It's good. Lakers would be a good trade partner though. I don't know. That would be a good trade. I'd be interested. But again, would you give up capital to? I would almost think. If I'm Lakers, I'm doing you guys a solid getting you off of Miles Turner. That's how I would think about that if I was LA. But again, you would have to give up a player for that. That's why it's just Turner for 25 and Rui. I just feel like I'm the Lakers. I'm doing you a favor. That's how I would think about it. You guys don't want him. Fine, keep him then. If you guys keep him,
but you got to pay Reeves, so you need more salary. You got to get the salary open.
They should still be able to pay Reeves, though.
And Bron?
Well, Bron's a different story. Could Bron go to Miami?
Could Bron go to Miami? Did y'all see the reports that Middleton is Wendy or one of them said Middleton?
And I please. I saw Middleton and what's Buddy who was with
hey,
Splash Brothers.
Trey gonna be Clay Thompson.
Clay Thompson and
unction.
Come on.
Trey gonna be unsufferable if Chris Middleton goes to Miami.
I love it. I would love it. Please. That is the exact type of team. I promise that is a losing. You're losing if you think that in the big 2026, Giannis, Bam, Chris, and Clay Thompson is getting you at your. I promise. I can assure you, them all young. The damn Atlanta Hawks are running them boys out the floor.
Dustin said also add Drew and Bron to that too.
Yeah, Brooke, all them, and man, they will run them in. The New York Knicks will run them boys off the court. You do so. You try and play some mess like that. So I said, it was. You know what was funny? What was funny? I saw some Heat fans. Oh, we got Bobby Portis too. We fleeced them. Man, y'all ain't seen Bobby Portis play defense yet. All right. Yeah, Bobby, he'll look fine if you got Giannis out there with him or Bam out there with him. Leave him out there by himself, see what happens. Y'all getting scored on left and right.
Miami media, as far as how visceral they are. I mean, I know they're not New York, Philly, LA, Boston, etc., but
they not, man. They be eating up that Heat culture BS and Pat Riley got them boys eating out his hand.
At 100,000 years old.
And here the Pat Riley is so overrated. It's all location. It's all like you. He's gotten this guy. He just lives in Put Pat Riley run. Let Pat Riley run the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's ass.
No,
let Pat Riley run the Timberwolves. He is ass. 2-pack ass.
Who did they get back, by the way, for Randall?
Nothing. They based the game away. Again, you are going to see teams are going to be so afraid of running into that second apron because and Minnesota's going to be a second apron team. And that's the other reason why Miami could get some good players, because there are going to be teams that are so afraid of the second apron and first apron and tax implications and aggregating salaries and trades. Those CBA rules, the Minnesota Timberwolves basically gave Julius Randle away for nothing. And their goal is, well, hell, maybe this is addition by subtraction. They gave him away from nothing.
And Claxton went where? To Chicago?
Yes. Another guy was kind of falling off a little bit.
Damn, but that's Masai, right? Isn't he working for the Bulls now? Masai Ujiri from Toronto?
No, Masai's in Dallas.
Oh, he's in Dallas? So who's their new ownership? Chicago.
They got out of Garpax, but I can't. Who's the new GM in?
Because I like what they're doing. I mean, they basically got handed the shit end of the stick, but then Claxton, Wilson, and who'd they get? Who'd they pick at 15?
Oh yeah, they did get a good. They do a Swain. No, I thought I got Swain.
Swain, yeah.
Bryson Graham is their GM.
Oh, okay.
Bryson Graham's GM. Who's their coach? Who they hire?
Who did they hire?
Oh, they didn't hire Buddy. They didn't hire Sweeney, did they?
No, he went to Orlando.
Oh yeah, he went. Who they hire? Who did Chicago hire?
I got you. Tiago Splitter.
Tiago Splitter.
Yeah.
Tiago Splitter.
I mean, I guess like
for what it's worth though. Who is Buddy? Buddy talking about Pat Riley. Oh, he's won at every level. He's won at. I'm just talking about the NBA. At the NBA, he coached for the Lakers, the Knicks, and the Heat. That LA, New York,
lost.
I'm just saying LA, New York, Miami. He ain't been nowhere that you can't say, come here. He's never been anywhere that the city don't sell itself. He ain't going nowhere where the city could. LA can sell itself. New York can sell itself. Miami can sell. Pat Riley is a front runner.
And they rewind it back to college.
Go to Indiana and do that. Go to the Pacers and do that. Go somewhere else. Go to Oklahoma City and do. Don't tell me what you can do in Miami. I can go to Miami be an executive. Come on, man.
Then he won in college at Kentucky. So same difference. Like Kentucky recruits itself.
Yep.
Silly,
come on, man. The Godfather. Come on, man.
And let you behind the scenes a little bit. We were talking about this earlier with Eric Spoelstra, man. Like, I understand he's a great coach when he has LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh. But outside of that, I see a lot of first-round exits. I see sweeps in the first round. I see play-in tournament losses. I see play-in tournament losses to a Charles Lee Charlotte Hornets team that lost by 30 to the Orlando Magic. So this Heat culture, I think it's a little bit more fraudulent than people admit. And I know they're going to sing their victory parades and they're going to have their parade, and it not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, and all that other BS they do. But just remember, Bucks fans, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were doing that when Dame came. And what did we have come from that?
Yeah. Mac 2 says the Clippers in LA and they suck. And that's the I see and they suck. Then why did Pat Riley go there? Then why did Pat Riley go to why did he pick the second tier? Why did he pick the second tier team? Then he should have went to the Clippers. He should have went to the and by the way, they were in Jersey when Pat was in New York. They just recently went to Brooklyn. But why didn't he pick Why did he pick the second tier of the teams? There's a reason he did. There's a reason he did. There's a reason. Come on, man. All right. Anything else? Maximus says Rollins for Washington doesn't take away his historic. Again, Spo overrated. Eric Spoelstra is overrated. He's never won a championship. He won a championship because LeBron James decided he wanted to go to South Beach. I'm not saying he's a sorry ass coach. I'm not saying that. But Eric Spoelstra is not looked at the same if he doesn't have 2 titles. He won 2 titles because LeBron decided to go to South Beach. That didn't have anything to do with Eric Spoelstra. And doubling down on that, LeBron didn't want his ass there either. Now I give Pat Riley credit for telling LeBron to shut the hell up, taking his cookies away and telling him that he was going to listen to Spo. But come on, man. All right. Anything else, guys?
Can we stay there for 1 second? Just 1 second. Sorry, and not to keep Trey up later because he's a real hunk. He got to go to bed. But that's a great point you made as far as telling LeBron to shut the hell up and not get him his cookies, because Giannis is used to having his cookies and Alex and Thanasis and being able to dictate and maneuver and do things the way that he wants to do it and go play for Greece and do all this other stuff. Now you're playing for a guy that's like, hey, I have more hardware than you. Shout out to Mac. What name? Mac Tuman. On all 3 levels, I got more hardware than you, sir. So you're gonna listen to me and you're gonna go hoop. It's a different world. And the media that's a little bit harsher than Milwaukee, because you don't have Eric Naaman, that's it, and a bunch of other guys from the news, Dario and them guys.
That's Dario. But well, I gotta say one thing before you. I'm gonna apologize to Jim Orzarski. To talk shit about him last night because he sat on the story that Giannis said he was finished in Milwaukee. Jim Orzarski, and again, now you could argue this one of 2 ways. You could say, hey, this shows he's not an independent piece of the media. But Jim Orzarski I didn't think about this. And somebody on Twitter said it. I think Justin Willis on Twitter said it. Jim Orzarski, Cameron Carr goes to the Knicks at 24. But that's a trade. So does that go to that? I think that's going to LA. Is that trade going to LA? I'm not sure. Yeah, that pick's going to LA. Okay, so Cameron Carr.
I didn't know Cameron Carr had bunnies like that. Goodness gracious.
But I wanted to say about Jim Orzarski, he probably did the Bucks a solid, because if he reports that, and it's a surefire thing, it says Giannis has told the Bucks he's finished in Milwaukee. The Bucks already had very little leverage in this at all. Because again, now I don't know if you give Giannis credit, or Giannis didn't request a trade. He did, by all intents and purposes, request a trade, but he didn't come out and actually request a trade. If Jim Orzarski comes out and says Giannis said he's finished in Milwaukee, they have no leverage. There's no leverage. So
I will come to that realization.
What do you mean?
Like when, like how are you like, okay, last night I messed up?
Well, because I saw it on Twitter. No, I mean Justin Willis, I think on Twitter talked about it, and I saw it. And I was like, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that angle. The only thing I thought of is you got something, report it. Why didn't you report it? And I wasn't thinking, well, he actually helped the Bucks. Like that actually probably helped the organization, because if he reports it, why are you? And again, yes, you could still have a bidding war, but the bidding war is truly just between Boston and Miami at that point. There is no chance the Bucks could even say. There's no chance the Bucks could go, you know what? Actually, we're gonna pull this whole thing off the table and we're gonna keep him, because at least that's still in the potential of an atmosphere. So I will say that there's a, that he probably, and again, probably keeping that relationship. That's probably that's why I'm not a beat reporter. I would have got kicked off the beat. I'd be just like Gary right now. They'd have kicked my ass out of there because I'd have reported anything. I don't care. But you got to. But again, but for the record, and sorry, I'm keep going along this, but for the record, and I've heard this before from some reporters, it is probably, you feel like it's easier to do media and ask all the hard questions when you're in New York or you're in Philly or Chicago or something like that. It's probably harder to be the beat reporter in a place like Milwaukee, because in a group with 40 people shouting at somebody, it's easy. It's easy to shout at people when you're mixed in the group. Everybody's talking crazy, and you may not. Well, I know John's gonna say something even crazier than me, right? So I can get whatever I want off. When it's just Eric Name and Jim Orzarski, y'all are it, and Lori Nickel, it's 3 people. All y'all got to keep those relationships. So it is much hard. You can't be the asshole when you're the one. And again, Gary was the asshole, and Gary can't even get in the arena. So anyway, sorry to cut you off, Justin.
It's gonna be interesting to see, because there was a lot of stuff made about Wemby, about how he handled defeat, and Giannis has had these epic post game rants on these first round exits and stuff like that, as far as winning and what it means and stuff like that. And it's just going to be really interesting to see if this stuff doesn't come to fruition year one. How will he handle it? One, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on about, oh, we got to give them a year to develop the roster and stuff. No. You walked away from us because you said championships matter and you had to win right away. So there's no year reprieve. You better go out there and you better ball out. And if you don't ball out, just know we all gonna be cheering. I'm cheering for you to lose. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna hold no punches. The other dudes that love Giannis so much more than Milwaukee and the Bucks and all that other stuff, they'll still cheer for you. They'll probably buy a Heat jersey. I wouldn't.
Can't do it. All right. Anything else? Again, we've been on for 3. So again, I'll agree with Chris King. A+ to the Cream City crossover. A+ to the people in the chat tonight. Again, man. Maybe some people did, but over 3 hours, just about 3 hours of coverage tonight. As the Bucks go in and they make their selections, Burries and Nate Ament at 10 and 13. Again, want to appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Want to appreciate Chris and Justin for, again, this excellent, special shout out to Chris King as well. Excellent draft coverage and breakdowns, the videos and what have you. More to come as well. But all you guys who sat in here, and again, you real Bucks fans who are here and you're gonna be here. Again, we're going to be positive and we're going to have some fun with this basketball team. And I think they're in a positive direction. And I like the direction the Bucks are in. We'll be here for all news as it continues to come out and updates throughout the off season and summer leagues coming up as well. So a lot of fun. Give me some, any thoughts, any final thoughts before we jump out of here, fellas, as we conclude draft night on the Cream City crossover.
Yeah, last year I don't believe I was a part of our draft show. I think I don't even know if we did one, because what were we, late second round pick maybe? And it was
last year was AJ Johnson, right?
No.
Who was last year?
Was Bogaloob.
Like
the 57th pick, something like that, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'm tripping.
But I can think back to that draft day where it was AJ Johnson at 20. What was he? 23. Was it 23? Something like that. And I had done some due diligence. I had talked about Ryan Dunn. I had talked about Terrence Shannon. And the look on our faces when it was like, it's AJ Johnson, isn't it? And it was AJ Johnson that day was awful. And I say that to say tonight I don't have that feeling. Tonight, I say, you know what we did? We got one of those guards that I expected to go in the top 10 at number 10. Today, I say, okay, we took a swing, but, it was either that or Steinbach. Like everybody else was it would have been premature. And, they picked what was best available on the board to them, right? I don't feel bad about the way that this night went. I feel good. I feel good, and I feel good about the way that the future is going to go. Who knows? They may trade in tomorrow. If they don't, they don't. But I will have a deeper dive on Burries and deeper dive on Nate Ament, understanding that they're Milwaukee Bucks and understanding that they can help our team. So appreciate you guys tuning in. If you checked out a draft video before, I appreciate it, and it was fun. It was fun to do, and I like to think that I know a little something. So it was good. It was good stuff. Even though I didn't hit on Burries, I didn't know that we were going to get him, and that's a good sign. So it's time to do that draft breakdown tonight.
Draft videos were absolutely impressive, man. Great job, Chris. Trey, great job bringing this together, man. And man, we're here with Miles, right? And what do you do? So we going to the boy. Get your ass out of here. I'm excited, man. You know me, I'm rooting for the front of the jersey always. I don't care how many syllables you got on the back of that jersey. I'm excited about these young guys we have coming up. I'm excited about Taylor Jenkins. And I'm excited about John Horst. See what else he does in this offseason. Let's get a winning basketball culture there. And I don't expect us to compete for championships today, tomorrow, but in the future. Let's build our way back up there. And I think that we could get there and have a solid run at it, man. And future starts now. Wasn't that a phrase for us a few years ago? Future starts now or something like that. So let's go, man. And shout out to Dustin Wagner with the Sean Reshford and Todd Day reference. That's epic, my friend. That is epic.
The future does begin right now for the Milwaukee Bucks. Again, want to appreciate everybody for joining us. Please hit, if you enjoyed any part of this coverage tonight, hit that like button for us. If you appreciate Nate Ament, if you're upset about Nate Ament, hit that like button. If you appreciate Burries here, who the Bucks picked up, hit the like button. 100% Brayden Burries. Hit the like button. Own the future. That was the phrase. There you go. It was own the future. So the Bucks gonna try and own the future again. And this is a perfect time for the Milwaukee Bucks from a marketing standpoint to probably do a different campaign and to embrace these young guys. And we want you to embrace them too. We'll be here all the way. Again, please tell a friend to tell a friend, tell another friend about the Cream City Cross. It is the best Milwaukee post game show in all of the land. Again, we appreciate you guys 100% for hanging out with us tonight on draft night. Again, from the guru. Oh, excuse me. This has been a Cream City Media Group. This has been the Cream City Media Group production. From the guru, sir.
Chris King.
Justin.
If I am the enemy, it's only because I dare to tell you the truth. Don't take no wooden.